The start of the Olympics. Savannah's live in Tokyo. Her opening ceremony co-host Mike Tirico along with her on what it will look like tomorrow and how Team USA is getting ready for the events.
And then also this morning, a first look at the greatest of all time, Simone Biles, on her preparations before taking center stage.
Go Simone. Plus, I can't wait to show you my conversation with award-winning artist and new mom, Meghan Trainor, her husband, Daryl, and their cute little baby boy, Riley.
And then everything you need to know to avoid those annoying mosquito bites or sunburn this summer.
There's so much to do here. And also, you don't want to miss this. Jason Sudeikis and the cast of the hit comedy Ted Lasso. They're going to talk about why that show is so successful and why it's resonating with so many people.
We got a lot to get to. We probably better get this party started. Hoda Cop, you ready? It's
Time for Today in 30. Savannah, we're going to start off and we're going to see some of Team USA stars prepping for their events. It's really happening.
It is, and it's really starting to feel like the Olympics are here. And what a sight to behold overnight. The greatest of all time finally back on an Olympic floor. Simone Biles and her teammates moving past that COVID scare and looking ahead to their pursuit of gold. Overnight, our first look at the U.S. women's gymnastics team gearing up for competition in Tokyo. The six-person squad, led by Simone Biles, soaring through their podium training, a chance to practice the skills they've spent years perfecting before competition officially begins. Simone leaping through the air as only she can. Suni Lee, Jordan Childs, Grace McCallum, and individual competitors Michaela Skinner and Jade Carey perfecting those moves. On the softball field, Team USA notching their second win against Canada. And on the pitch, all 16 men's soccer teams getting in on first-round action, while the U.S. women plot a comeback after their stunning opener loss. A post on the team's Instagram page reading, "Our belief is greater than any single result. Eyes ahead." Overnight, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden arriving in Japan, leading this year's American delegation to the Games, as the world anxiously awaits tomorrow's opening ceremony. Olympic organizers trying to prevent crowds, urging local fans against traveling to see the Olympic cauldron amid the city's COVID state of emergency. And overnight, the Japanese creative director of the opening ceremony was fired over offensive jokes he made years ago when he was a comedian. And despite a handful of American athletes already testing positive for the virus, a bit of good news from USA Basketball, announcing Chicago Bulls star Zach LaVine has cleared COVID protocols and will join the team in Tokyo this afternoon. Let's bring in NBC Olympics primetime host and my partner for the opening ceremony, which will be taking place 24 hours from now, Mike Tirico. Hi, Mike.
It's less than 24 hours. We have to get back to studying.
We've been spending a lot of time together. Let's talk about, first of all, the COVID situation. Just in the last 24 hours, we've heard about more athletes in the Olympic Village testing positive. How worried are the Olympic organizers? I mean, is there still a chance this thing falls apart?
I think a lot would have to happen for it to fall apart. It feels like step by step. It reminds me, Savannah, of the bubbles starting in sports when COVID was really raging in the U.S. last year, where you come across a few early and you go, oh my goodness, is this a house of cards? But then as the competition went on, the testing was working. So they're being tested daily for a reason, to see if there is an outbreak or a spread. So far, look, one case and losing one athlete is disappointing personally for that individual. Overall, right now, it hasn't spread, and that's a good sign. So certainly we'll watch the next couple of days.
Have we seen some of the teams, including Team USA, make adjustments to how they're training, how they're living together?
No doubt. I think everyone's being very careful and cautious. Make sure we don't wipe out an entire team with contact tracing. It's almost like turn your mind back 9 months or 10 months and what we were doing back in the States. And the rest of the world is having to do that, and is still having to do that in large part. Now, the thing I'll be interested to watch is in the opening ceremony, will we see distancing when the athletes walk in? Will we see some athletes not walk because they don't want to go through the concerns of being around a lot of athletes? We'll still see a lot of folks, but I don't know if we'll see as many as we normally do.
Can we please talk sports?
Absolutely.
It's the Olympics.
Yes.
What a stunner yesterday.
Oh boy.
USA women's soccer went down, and it was a rout.
Yes.
It was not pretty. What happened?
Well, Sweden is the team that knocked them out of the Olympics 5 years ago in Rio, so they know Sweden's good, and they've played good matches with Sweden in between. This is the match they wanted to start. They had their full attention because they had their full attention. Okay, erased the disappointment of 5 years ago. And Sweden completely outplayed them. I haven't seen the U.S. women's soccer team play a match like that in 10, 15 years.
But they're not out of it.
It's the big news. They're not out of it. It's round robin. If they get into the knockout phase, they'll still have a chance to win.
But they got to be pretty much perfect from here on out.
But they know that, and they can do that.
Yeah. Let's talk about softball. A bright spot. They've already had 2 big wins, women's softball.
Right. Before the opening ceremony, they're 2-0. Softball's been out of the program at the Olympics for some time. It's not in for Paris. So for many of these players, this might be their only chance. A good win over Italy, a win over Canada. So they've got 2 in the good side, and they have a great chance to face Japan for the gold medal when all is said and done in softball.
Now, you and I have both been sworn to secrecy, but Mike, come on, just whisper it in my ear.
Nobody's here.
Talk about the opening ceremony, just among friends. How would you, I mean, for what we can say, how would you describe what people should expect tomorrow morning when they turn on their TVs? And for the first time ever, we're going to broadcast it live. You can watch the opening ceremony with your coffee.
That's right. Wake up with the family, a little geography lesson from teacher Savannah and sub-teacher Mike. You know, I think it's going to fit the moment because this is a different celebration. We're celebrating the fact that we hope the world can get back to where we enjoyed it 3-4 years ago, pre-COVID-19. But it's also a serious time here. And I think what we'll see in that stadium will be something that's tone appropriate. It'll have its moments. Every opening ceremony has those memorable moments. And I think there are a couple in store. But I do think it's the first chance to really see the world together in one place, 206 nations and delegations since COVID-19 hit. That moment alone, just as we've talked about the last couple of days, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. I'll add that. Yes. Mike Tirico, we'll see you tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep, my friend.
You too.
And just in case you needed the reminder, you can watch the opening ceremony right here and all of the Olympic action. It starts tomorrow on NBC, all the networks of NBC, including Peacock. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you. Cheers. We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
This is amazing! Yes!
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
We know you've been limited to where you can go because of the COVID restrictions, obviously. What have you been up to, like, to get through the day? What you been doing?
Well, you know, I told you guys the other day that you're allowed to go for a 15-minute walk every day. So one of the things you can do, and I cannot wait to introduce you to this marvel, it's a convenience store. It's called Lawson's. And it is incredible. I think we have some video. Okay, we're just walking. This is right by our hotel, guys. Look at this convenience store. It's amazing. They have, like, literally, look at all that. That's all different kinds of ramen. They sell shirts. They sell every kind of candy, every kind of wasabi peas. There's an entire Hello Kitty section, Hoda, for you. I mean, it's just incredible. But here's the other thing that was like an absolute incredible find. Right behind me there, there are these chicken nuggets that apparently were Anthony Bourdain's favorite chicken nuggets, his favorite thing to eat in all of Tokyo. I have some right here.
And?
Okay, these are Anthony Bourdain's chicken nuggets, delicious. He also loves the egg salad sandwich, supposed to be great. Another thing, guys, this is famous in Tokyo. Oh, it's so sticky.
What is
it? Giant rainbow cotton candy, which is it's perfect for Instagram. It's made here in Tokyo. You can get some. It's delicious. So you will not be starved here in Tokyo. We've got everything we need. And then, of course, I told you you can't go to the gym or anything. So I've been telling you that you're gonna have to create your own workout. So I then
No, you didn't.
as promised,
No.
step aerobics. Remember the 90s? They were good to all of us. I did some aerobics in my hotel room. I'm planning on teaching you guys these moves.
Okay.
So hurry up and get here already.
Go, Jane Fonda, go. Okay, wait. I want to see the set because I feel like we've seen a tight shot of you. Will you show us?
Yeah. Well, this is my first day actually on our big set that
Okay.
we're going to be on. So, okay, I'm going to give you a tour. I'm going to keep, this is actually stuck to my hand now. Like, I can't. I'm going to sleep with it. So, over here is where we're going to sit, okay? Isn't it pretty? Now, then you can see, we're by all the venues. That's beach volleyball over there, and over there the triathletes are going to be actually, I think, starting tomorrow maybe. Then over here we'll have guests and things like that. We've got these beautiful trees. Look at these gorgeous Japanese lanterns. We have these wind chimes, so actually you might hear the little tinkle of wind chimes during our set. Like, I don't think this is ever coming off. And look over there. Is this a little taste of home, a Statue of Liberty, which was actually given and put up, it's not as big as our Statue of Liberty, but it's pretty big, 20 years ago to honor the relationship between Japan and France. Oh. So for now, I will send it back to you. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Oh, we're back. If you follow Grammy winner Meghan Trainor on social media, you already know that being a new mom is a dream come true. And you got the chance to catch up with the whole family.
I did. So a long time ago, when I first met Meghan, she told me one thing. She said, I want a big family. Well, this morning, in an exclusive interview from her new home, Meghan is talking about life these days with her husband, actor Daryl, and their beautiful baby boy, Riley, by her side. With 4 studio albums and strings of pop singles, 27-year-old Meghan Trainor launched to superstardom 7 years ago with her breakthrough smash single,
Because you know I'm all about that bass.
All About That Bass, selling 11 million copies worldwide.
Hi, you can do it.
But these days, the Grammy winner is all about that baby.
You're so cute.
Oh my God, Meghan, can you believe, how does it feel to have this little one?
I think I was like 20 years old when I told Hoda, I was like, I'm gonna have babies, just you wait. That's why you're the first person I had to tell.
Hearing her announce her pregnancy news, her dream come true, was pure magic.
We're pregnant!
Oh my gosh! Now, for the first time, the Grammy winner, her husband Daryl, along with their precious 5.5-month-old Riley, are opening up about parenthood and who the baby looks like. Okay, I'm sorry, but it looks like you are holding your husband in the dryer.
Yeah,
I think he's like a perfect blend between.
he's a good blend.
Daryl, you holding that little boy is so perfect. Did it come naturally to you?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I'm having a blast.
Baby Riley is happy and healthy, but Meghan says he had a rocky and scary start. People talk about the moment that the baby gets put on your chest, and you had to wait a little bit.
Yeah, no, he got taken like right away to the NICU. I was like, where's the cry? Because no one said anything. I was like, he's not crying.
Yeah.
So they said he was full of liquid still, and that C-sections, this can happen. They took him away, and Daryl begged for them to let me see him for 1 second before they took him.
Riley was whisked away to the neonatal intensive care unit where he required a feeding tube.
We were like, what's the update? And they said, it's just up to Riley when he wants to like wake up for reals.
Oh, yeah.
So we just waited like 4 or 5 days. Yeah! And then he's like, let's rock! Hi, Riley.
And the proud parents have documented every step of the way, including heartwarming moments like this one.
I love you. I love you.
I'm sorry. I saw the video, and I am telling you, that baby said,
I
love you. No question.
He's never said it again, but that was it.
I'm Meghan Trainor.
3 months after giving birth, the singer-songwriter went back to work.
I don't know if I was fully ready, but we did it. Daryl's up with him, and he lets me sleep until like 8. He made it almost easy.
Was that what happened? Did he just let one go?
I don't know.
He's thinking about it.
We got the diapers that tell us if he's peed or not. You're good.
I've never changed a boy diaper, so I understand that takes some finesse and some skills.
Yes, I thought I had it down, but literally yesterday, he peed on my countertop, and I was like, what are you doing?
Sometimes people can be judgy just because you always said your piece. You were like, nope, faucets off. Breastfeeding, like that's about that.
I did a lot of research before of like, why is breastfeeding so hard? Especially with a C-section, my body wasn't like, all right, time to make milk. So I was pumping as soon as I got to my room after the C-section, and nothing was happening. I really struggled making milk. Finally, I was like, I'm done. I did so well, look at me. Everyone was like, good for you. I'm proud that you even tried.
What do you sing to little Riley?
We're changing your diaper, you know? Like, everything's a song.
Does Riley know when your music's on? Can he tell?
I've seen him one time when I'm singing really soft, he'll start to tear up, like those babies on TikTok and the internet.
Wait, what?
Yeah, have you ever seen those babies where like they'll hear their mom sing and they're just like, and I was like, he hears me.
And Meghan says it's the unexpected, simple moments that are some of the most meaningful.
If I walk in a room, he just lights up. He's like, the biggest smile. No one told me he's gonna love you so much and light up when you walk in a room. You're like, oh my goodness, worth everything.
I can't tell you how thrilled I am for you guys. It's just fun to watch y'all develop into amazing parents. Kleenexes, aisle 2. I love you guys.
I love you, I miss you every day.
Bye, Riley.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you. Cheers. We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
I
Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Hey guys, I'm super pumped because I get to talk to one of my favorite people on the planet today, Meghan Trainor. And Daryl, her husband, who I like too, and their cute baby, Riley. So we're gonna have that. You're gonna love it. That baby, you wanna squeeze the cheeks.
Okay, Hoda, I know you love a good quote.
Yeah, what you got?
What about this one, okay? I believe in hope. I believe and believe.
That sounds wise. That sounds optimistic. That sounds like Ted Lasso.
You'd be right. Everybody's favorite coach is back, and the Apple TV series taking the world by storm.
If you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing? It's about an American football coach who takes a job managing a football team in England, and by that we mean a soccer team. And what Ted lacks in know-how, he makes up for in enthusiasm and heart.
The man behind the mustache is co-creator, executive producer, and star Jason Sudeikis, who made us laugh for 10 years right here across the street on Saturday Night Live and in blockbuster comedies like Horrible Bosses.
And every good coach has a right-hand man, and for Ted Lasso, that is the very funny Coach Beard, played by fellow co-creator and EP Brendan Hunt. Take a look.
I'm telling you, all these ties are my fault. It's straight up celestial payback for the Man City game. There I was, wishing and hoping for a friggin' tie. And now the karma police are making good on showing me what I get when I mess with them.
The team's playing well, Ted. Just a little unlucky, that's all.
Unlucky? Yeah. Man, I love the way y'all use that word over here. Back home, if a team was playing poorly, we don't call them unlucky. What do we call them, Coach?
New York Jets.
Works every time. Let's welcome to Studio 1A, Jason
and Brendan!
Got it.
No, is that working on your app?
Is that how?
I don't know.
Ooh. You okay, man?
Feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You look amazing.
Yeah.
How's that working for you?
It's a side master.
You know what? We know how the show starts, which is with a biscuit that we heard actually tastes not very good. So we'd like to give you each a welcome gift.
Oh.
A welcome
You can
gift.
open them if you'd like. They have a little American twist.
Hey.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oreo cookies?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You like?
Yeah. Oh,
American biscuits.
An
There we go.
American biscuit.
All right. Do you want us to take them so you
Yours
don't
are
have to
much more
hold them?
organized. This is.
I dropped
this
Jenna's.
this really, yeah. This suits our characters, I think. Yours are,
Did you ever love double stuffs and then when you didn't have double stuffs, make double stuffs?
Oh, you used to do
what?
that?
look at that.
No, I've never done that.
Just like his character.
You want me to
the
take
one-
that from you so you
Wait,
don't
you don't have
well.
to. Or you want to? We'll just
You'll
put
save
it down
them
here
for
later.
after.
Yeah, and my kids will definitely want those.
Okay,
My
good.
kids.
Look at y'all, stars. Y'all are big stars on a show. It's hard to think of a comedy or any show that caught on like this one. It's got 20 Emmy nominations, the most nominated freshman show ever.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think it stands out? What makes it unique? I want to start with the cookies in your teeth.
You know, ever since we started this process, all we do, take over.
Okay, sure. Yeah, all right. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we knew that, I don't think we'd share that with people. We would just replicate it over and over and many times over and buy boats for all our family members. But yeah, I guess there must be something to the fact that, being nice, being polite, being supportive of each other. You can actually mine comedy out of that and maybe accidentally, learn something too.
But it's true because Ted leads with love, which is like the way we should lead. And it was something that we've been missing. It felt like I said to Hoda, it feels like drinking Sunny Delight before you go to bed. It was like goodness at a time where y'all couldn't have even expected how much we needed it.
Yeah, no, I knew I wanted it in my life, and we talked about it a lot. Our buddy Brendan and I's buddy Joe Kelly, and then when Bill Lawrence came in, it was just a philosophy and ethos that we're kind of like, what? I just didn't want to play someone like super snarky all the time. I'd rather do that after they yell cut, but to play that energy all the time can kind of eat away at your soul. So it was definitely selfish of me to just say, I want to be like a happy-go-lucky guy, like a weeble wobble. You knock me down, I get right back up.
Getting the Southern accent. Go.
It's just, is drinking Sunny D before bed a thing?
You know what? It hasn't been something that I've done since a child. I don't know if it's a thing. Maybe Ted Lasso brought out that weird phrase in me.
Yes.
But he did. And the accent, though, because I have to say, when I was watching y'all's earlier interview, I was a little disappointed at your voice. Like, I was like, wait.
Amen.
Jen is like, where is it?
Where's
this
deep and where's the
how'd
country?
How'd you perfect that one? Because it's on point even for people from the South.
I don't know how I perfected it. That's very sweet of you. I don't know. It's just a way if I mix some Jack Daniels with my Sunny D, it comes out pretty naturally. It'll just stroll right out. But it's a funny way to think and speak and improvise and write in.
You know what's great about Brendan? We're seeing you smile, and we know there was a rule when you were taping this show. How many smiles did you allow yourself?
That's Rory Kent.
Yeah.
Well, both of them.
Well, I got
you weren't allowed smiles
no,
either.
You wasn't either.
Well, we're flip sides of the same very, very unfriendly coin. Which is great, though, because since I'm allowed to smile a little bit, and Brad, who plays Roy, is not allowed to smile at all, he breaks absolutely the most of anyone in the cast.
He does?
Oh, gosh, left and right. And it's fantastic to watch him go from... We'll never show that blooper reel, but he's all over it.
We will in his memoriam.
Okay.
Can we bring in the rest of your ensemble cast? Speaking of him and the rest of the crew.
But virtually, not in real life.
We're sorry y'all can be here in real life, but let's meet up with the first Emmy-nominated star behind the lovable Higgins, Jeremy Swift. You also might recognize him from the popular series Downton Abbey.
Next up, we got Hannah Waddingham, the Emmy-nominated actress. She plays Rebecca. We love her. We were begging for you to be here. The FC Richmond team owner. You may remember her dramatic role in Game of Thrones.
Okay, and finally, Brett Goldstein, who I have a massive crush on. It's the man, but don't tell my husband, the man behind the scowling Rory Kent.
Does he not watch the show?
Well, he watches it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
This will
he
be
actually
fun.
has a massive crush on Ted Lasso.
Okay,
He's like,
great.
Ted Lasso wants to know when you're getting home. Anyway,
Wait, what?
I told you that.
I know, but I didn't get it
You
until
guys,
now.
raise your hand if you knew you would be Emmy nominated.
Yeah, hands way down.
Really, way down.
Well, you all received nominations.
Yeah, congratulations. This show was one of those. Did it come out of the dark for you guys? What do you think?
Are we actually allowed to talk?
Yeah.
Yes, you can talk.
Okay, morning.
You're British. You're really British.
Wait, actually, Jason has some cookies for you.
Yeah. These will be waiting for you. We'll have Brendan bring them back to the hotel. These are
Oh
our
my God,
biscuits.
the boxes are just getting bigger and bigger.
They're too big. Way too big.
Yeah.
Wait, we heard the real biscuits are not that appetizing.
Rebecca, how are they?
No. Can I just say, I will be kind and say they are significantly better this season because I have whinged so much about them globally.
Such a squeaky wheel when it comes to biscuits.
Squeaky wheel, is that right? Boy, I see a dazzling smile right there.
Yeah, it's really hard to look at you, Brett, and see your teeth.
Yeah, we didn't even know if you were.
Yeah, that's what we're used to.
We didn't know you had teeth. Really.
Where are your teeth? Let's see.
I had a makeup person put these in for me this morning because on morning TV you have to have teeth. It's a rule in America. I just found out.
So I know there's a massive pandemic, but do people stop you on the street and expect you to curse them out or yell at them?
Yeah, a lot of people say, "Please hit me, swear at me."
He's not actually joking.
And I say, "Okay."
For a price.
Okay.
This is a weird date, but okay, we can do that.
Oh, and stick around for tomorrow. It's a big show, a special edition of Today for the Olympic opening ceremony.
Have a great day, everyone. We will see you bright and early Friday morning for the start of the games.
movie, the music is unbelievable, the dancing off the charts, and to be able to shoot in Washington Heights. What was that like to be on the street there?
It was the best choice we ever made, and we made it from the very top of this production. And I'm not from Washington Heights. I'm from Northern California, all California boy from a Chinese family growing up in a Chinese restaurant. And Lynn invited me into this neighborhood where he still lives, where Kiara, our writer, still lives. I said, show me why you love this place, and I'll try to capture as much as I can. Washington Heights wasn't just a character in our movie, as people say. It was a co-writer. It was a crew member. The people were our hype men. They were like in the windows, like screaming for us.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that opening where you get to meet all the characters, but you really get a sense of of what America is, real America here. And it's very emotional when you see these real people doing real jobs. Yeah, it's actually very healing right now when I watch it more than ever.
Mucho trabajo.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, people working there,
A lot of
knuckles to
work.
the bones, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it moves me because my mother raised 3 kids in the projects in Brooklyn by herself. $30,000 a year. She does, before taxes, and it was just like, there's so many families like that, right? So many people who are going through something like that. And if it's not that specifically, everybody's got a story. Everybody's got, it's like, everybody's got a job, everybody's got a dream, right? They gossip as I sip my coffee and smirk. The first stop is people hop to work. That's the lens of this, the everyday dude that we're seeing the lens of this story being told through. And, and I think that's what moves me so much about this film is that, there's the Abuela Claudia, there's, the people dancing or just the people in the community.
There's so many faces in this movie that we might not normally recognize in terms of, well, I've never seen that person before, I've never seen that person. And everyone is crushing it with talent just coming out of the pores of their skin.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous?
How do you do that?
You just open your eyes. Being in Washington Heights, seeing all the talent in New York, in California, all around the country. There's so many talented people do not have the opportunity to show off who they are.
But movie studios for decades have not wanted you to do that.
Yeah. And Lin, the genius of Lin-Manuel Miranda, is he was like, I don't need anyone anymore. I'm going to write a part for myself. And he wrote it with Kiara, and they put it up. There was a moment where we're doing Carnaval de Barrio, and everyone is, I call cut. It's this big number where everyone has their flags, and nobody stops dancing. Everyone starts jumping up and down. I'm like, are this okay? The crew starts jumping up and down, and they start chanting, New York, New York. And Lynn's up on the fire escape, and he looks down, and they all look up at him. And they're like, Lynn, 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 Lynn. And he's trapped, he can't go there, so he starts to cry. Everyone starts to cry. They keep chanting, Lynn, Lynn, Lynn. You can hear this place. We're in Washington Heights. We're in a courtyard. You can hear it blocks away. Lynn, 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 because he manifested this. He drew it, at 17 years old, he drew it in a binder. We put that drawing on his Piragua cart. But here they are. The people that he created in that piece are now in front of him in a movie, and they know it's possible. And he's looking down at Anthony. They're singing harmonies to each other. And there's a direct relationship that they've worked together, that Anthony has this path because of some of the things that Lynn did. That is very empowering, not just for Latinos there, for all of us who are watching this. Dream bigger.
To think that this guy first put some of this on a stage when he was in college.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God.
I had the vision to do it. I mean, it takes this level of, I think, I don't want to say frustration, but a little bit of maybe a little bit of that and motivation and tenacity and belief in yourself to say, I don't feel like this thing that I love, the people that can give me an opportunity to do that, see me. I don't think they see me. So how do I write my way into this world? Because no one else is gonna do it for me. And I truly believe Lin did that. And in him doing that for himself, he did that for so many people. You know, me being one of the many people in this cast, you know, because he had the vision to do that. You know, I wanted to quit. You know, it was so hard for me to get a role. Because they're like, he looked like this, but he sounds like that, but he's this. And I'm like, yo, I don't know what I need to be for y'all to understand. That I'm like, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. And for you to be told so many times, told no so many times, this role needs to be cast this way, this role needs to be cast that way. And I think Lin had just that vision to say, I'm not gonna wait for somebody to write me the role that I wanna play.
So you get ready to make the movie, and Lin writes you a little note on the script. What did it say?
It said, "Don't F it up," with a smiley emoji.
With love.
With love.
Still.
It was funny. I laughed and then I cried. No, it stayed with me the whole shoot. This is neighborhood. I get it. We gotta do it right, and I'm down for that pressure. That's why I'm here. As a director, you're the only person that can prioritize production. I can say, everyone can be saying, we're running out of time, we're running out of money, and I'm the only one who can say, stop. If that sauce isn't right on the table, go down to the store and go get it. I'm the only one who can say, oh, the hair's in her, don't pin it back. That's her hair. Move the camera, move the lights. We'll wait an hour, let's do it. And I think that's the big pressure that I felt was, give us the space. And I was like, I'll give you a lot of space. Let's go.
What you were talking about before, though, this idea that as you were coming up as an actor, people were trying to give you advice about how to comport yourself, right? Yeah. They were trying to take, it seemed to me as I was looking at it, they were trying to take the you out of you.
Conceal who you are, right? So that way you can be ambiguous. Grow your hair out, change the way you speak more in American Standard. Pay more attention to voice production in speech class, and pronounce the vowels the way, you know, the teacher's pronouncing the vowel. Like, so that way people won't know where you're from, right? So you can play this kind of role and that kind of race and that kind of role. And I'm like, and I was like, okay, yeah, I want to work. Yeah, I really want to work. And then eventually I was like, yo, I'm not doing this. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like this is not who I am. And I remember Lin said something to me so good in rehearsal one time. We were in rehearsal and he goes, I think I said something and it was a little hood. And I said, oh man, I need to change the way I speak, man. I felt a little self-conscious about the way I delivered what I said. And he goes, you never need to change the way you speak, Papa. You just need to make sure people understand you. And he said that to me and I was like, and you know, I think that quote has stayed with me like since that day. And I think that quote lived in me even before he said it, but it was like an affirmation when he said it to me that came from somewhere that was beyond even him, that he might ever know, you know what I'm saying?
You've described this movie a lot of different ways, but there's one in particular that I think really, really nails it. What is it?
Vaccination for the soul.
Vaccination for the soul.
That's what it felt like going to set every day. Before the pandemic, it was, we had a disease and we didn't know it. And these people, when I'm watching them, and they're showing me their dance, and they're showing me their food, and they're showing me their flag, and why they hold their flag. In every shop I could look, I could find a flag now. It's like the hidden Mickeys. They're like, they're so proud. This is home. It showed that we had a lot to learn. And a movie, the microphone of cinema, can help open that window. Get some air, get some oxygen, get some new blood in us.
What are you feeling right
now? Grateful, number one. I think it's just years, right, being like years of feeling like here's another wall. There's another wall. Finally, like, the door opened. and not to say that I won't hit other walls in life, but does it feel good to have this, to be walking through this open door? you know, and to feel like, you know, there's a chance for, you know, like you said, for a better life, not only, you know, for my family, for I think all the families of the people who are part of this film, but for a people who have felt like they live in a place where nobody cares, no one's listening. Nobody's listening. Nobody's hearing them. They shouting. They, you know, they're protesting. They're screaming. And just to feel like the door's opening. A door has opened where it's like we're making progress. Come on. Come on. You know? You decided to make movies, then you created this opportunity for. I mean, it's a ripple effect, man. You know, if my mom would have given up, I don't know if I'd be here. You know, so I think I'm just feeling all of those things now. You know, grateful.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Talent and perseverance inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
The Great Emergence. No, not that one. Us, coming out of our respective COVID cocoons. It is indeed a big deal. Celebrity interviewer TJ works the crowd.
What movie are you guys seeing?
I'm seeing the scary one.
For patrons and for employees of the Prospector Theater in Ridgefield, Connecticut, opening again was a reason to celebrate. Emily has worked here for more than 5 years.
I haven't been in person in 15 months, and I'm so happy to be back. It's so exciting.
The staff here is tight-knit. People who identify as having a disability are the rule here, not the exception.
The best part by working here is I love working with my friends and family.
You feel like folks here are...
Oh yeah, definitely. Our team are like family to me.
Yeah.
There's no place like home.
A family whose ever-exuberant matriarch, Val Jensen, founded this place.
Meaningful employment is life. Meaningful employment is happiness.
Jensen worked with adults with disabilities for years. She knew they could exceed expectations.
When you give somebody a purpose in life and a mission, it makes life that much better.
If you're a customer at the Prospector, you will quickly grow accustomed to a first-class experience.
We need more employers to understand how to speak to people with disabilities, how to make accommodations. Sometimes accommodations are so simple.
Sometimes the employees bring their own accommodations.
I'm Allie Wood, and I'm an usher and a projectionist.
Fantastic. Right? Wow. How long have you used that?
All my life, pretty much, but since college with the iPhone and the app.
Allie and the rest of the staff here have a message to share.
And I help show our country that adults with disabilities are more than capable of having a job and being successful. I can speak in front of people just like anybody else.
That's right.
That's right.
I got that. You gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
So stop with the streaming and binging already. Emerge.
I think a lot of us right now are gonna feel like the butterfly. The world can be that much more magical. At least I feel like a butterfly.
Come back, people. Please come back. We love to see you. We do.
For Sunday Today, Harry Smith, Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you. Cheers. We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air. This is amazing! Yes!
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
The pioneering chef who started a slow food movement.
Yeah, Harry Smith got to spend some time with Alice Waters in her natural habitat.
Totally. You know, typically we go to do a story, right? Yeah. We rush in, the guy set up, we get going, and then we're going to do the interview, and then we rush out again. We got to Alice Waters. She said, whoa. Take a look at this, right? She said, set up, then eat.
Ooh,
just
what?
Right? She made us these pizzas. There's salad from the garden.
Before the interview.
Look at this. Before the interview.
It's called buttering you up, Harry.
It's really more, it's a metaphor and a message. Slow down.
A Meyer lemon tree.
I see him right there.
Alice Waters' backyard is small, welcoming, wonderful.
I have a cherry tree, which doesn't have very many cherries, but I have a quince tree.
Oh, I love a quince.
A few feet away, a giant redwood stands sentinel. When studying abroad in France at the age of 19, the woman who would become the prophetess of the slow food movement had an epiphany.
And I would eat in little small restaurants, and they're run by a family, and it was a revelation to me.
Her revelation turned into one of America's most renowned restaurants, Chez Panisse. For 50 years, the mothership of locally sourced, organic, seasonal cooking. 5 decades of learning and seeking, resulting in We Are What We Eat, a slow food manifesto.
Why did you call it a manifesto?
I wanted to convince people of my theory. I wanted it to be in their place of, understand this, please, listen. I feel that we in this country and around the world have been sensorially deprived because of a fast food culture indoctrination.
The bombardment of ads, the boulevards of burgers. Convenience as a shortcut, she says, is short-sighted.
We don't know the true cost of the cheap food we eat. We don't know what the cost is to the environment or to our health.
Food mass-produced for mass consumption.
The way the industrial food system is organized is shocking.
Fast, in fact, makes her furious.
It's convenient to buy food to go, but when you cook it yourself and you offer it to a friend, you get something else that is invaluable.
And don't we all wish we had the time to do that? Elitist, cry her critics.
Is it elitist to want to support the people who take care of the land and their farm workers?
The trade-off to convenience, she contends, has come at considerable personal cost. Obesity, diabetes, and more. An answer, to start, kids. Her edible schoolyard project. Students cultivate a garden, then cook what's in it. It's been adopted in almost 10,000 schools.
If these teenage kids, if they grow it in the garden and they cook it in the kitchen classroom, they all eat it.
The manifesto reads like a life guide, the world according to Alice.
We're trying to educate the senses, and food is the best way to do it. It touches all those senses. And so it opens your mind. And once your mind is opened in that way, you can see the beauty. You can taste.
Savoring food, she believes, leads to savoring life. Leaving convenience behind, liberating.
I've had 50 years at Chez Panisse, and I've been feeding people these ideas for 50 years. And I guess they've been liking it because they keep coming back.
It's seductive, isn't
yes,
it?
It is.
Right?
Good word.
Yes, it is.
Harry's got a little food crush.
Harry was like, tell me more.
More pizza.
That's cool.
What's so cool things in some of the writing is just so beautiful. One of the things she says, I think that in this way, speed feeds our sense of loneliness. We send a text and expect an instantaneous response. Lying on a couch and daydreaming is considered wasteful, transgressive almost.
Wow.
I could just sit and
Take
listen
it
to Harry
down.
read books as poetry.
You're right. That's beautiful. Beautiful passage.
Again, Alice Waters' book, it's called We Are What We Eat. It is out right now, and you can find out more on today.com/shop.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Now to that really inspirational story of Sam Schmidt. Sam Schmidt is an IndyCar driver who was paralyzed from the shoulders down 21 years ago.
Yeah, Harry Smith has followed him as he's learned to do incredible things, driving again and going skydiving. And Sam's latest chapter is the most emotional yet. Harry's on assignment this morning at the Barber Motorsports Museum in Birmingham, Alabama. Hi, Harry. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. And to get inspired for the race on Sunday, the big Indy 500 race, there's no better place than this Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. But if you're looking for inspiration, we've got a guy we want you to meet if you haven't met him before on the Today Show, a friend of ours who was going to be trackside at Indy, and he inspires us every day.
It's a practice day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Aero McLaren team owner Sam Schmidt is standing trackside. We said standing. Sam Schmidt is a quadriplegic.
When you were in that bed 20-some years ago, flat on your back in Florida, did you think this was possible?
Not even close. Yeah, we didn't know if I'd make it the first week, let alone the first month.
Schmidt was then an IndyCar driver. A crash in Orlando left him paralyzed from the shoulders down.
Everybody thought it was insane that why would I go back to a sport that put me in a wheelchair? I've been racing since I was 5 years old. It's all I ever want to do is compete at this place. And that to me is what kept me alive for 21 years.
We first met Sam 5 years ago, and truth be told, we had our doubts. Could a man in his condition actually drive? Yup. 3 years later, he brought his much improved high-tech car to New York. We rode with him through Manhattan traffic from Harlem to Rockefeller Center. He has since raced up Pikes Peak and competed in an amateur race. What if, wondered the people at Aero Electronics, they could get Sam walking?
When they presented you with the idea of let's try to do this, what did you say?
Where do I sign up? Where do I go? What do you want me to do?
We watched as Sam's team got him set up in an exoskeleton.
This is 1.0, clearly. Their goal with it is that I won't need to be balanced and that I will be able to operate it completely myself, which is a mega task.
Imagine walking without assistance. Sam does.
Do you dream about it?
You know, that's the funny thing, Harry. In 21 years, I've never had a dream where I was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
I'm always walking around, you know, with my kids and the race team and everything else.
That morning, Sam's racing team saw something they had never seen before. Their boss, not in a wheelchair.
What is it like for you to be standing up?
I've almost ran out of words to describe the feeling in this entire process. Epic, mega, unbelievable. After 21 years, I didn't remember what the view was like.
The view?
The view. I haven't gotten a full body hug in 21 years. And we got some of those today.
There were tears when Tim Bauman saw Sam that day.
That's pretty wild.
Bauman was part of the crew that pulled Sam from the wreckage 21 years ago.
Seems to me you were having a little trouble holding it together when you saw Sam walk up.
Yeah, that's not something we, you know, and I've been a paramedic for 38 years, and we have people with the prognosis. We don't see this. I mean, and to see it, it's inspirational as hell.
Pushing limits seems to be in Sam's DNA. The word can't is not in his vocabulary. Like building the Driven Neuro Recovery Center in Las Vegas and leading the Conquer Paralysis Now Foundation.
Do you feel like maybe there's a part of you that feels like maybe you were chosen? Like you're the guy who can rise above this?
Absolutely. Way, way, way more important than anything I could have done as a professional race car driver.
Standing up, getting out of the wheelchair, it's been a big spring for Sam.
I saw you coming onto this cart, and I kept looking at your empty wheelchair. What's it like for you to leave that behind?
It's amazing, and I think I'm ready to hang a for sale sign on it.
But most important of all was this moment.
Yes!
When he danced with his daughter at her wedding.
I'm surprised I have any tears left. You know, it's been a wild month.
And the wild spring continues for Sam. I'll tell you, I know, get the Kleenex out. It's just too much. He has 3 cars and 3 drivers on his team. All 3 qualified for the Indy race on Sunday. Wow. So, yeah, right. And as I say, and as he says, this gizmo that he's working with now, it's 1.0, sort of what the car was like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. Who knows what it might turn into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years in our future. Just amazing.
Trailblazer.
Wow. I'm just speechless here.
On so many levels. To dance with his daughter
Yeah.
at her wedding,
Right?
incredible.
Harry, we love you.
Today All Day, we've got a great show for you on this Thursday morning, including an all-day exclusive chat you can only see here. But let's kick it off with Pop Start. Two of country music's biggest superstars, Dolly Parton and Tim McGraw, recently sat down for a very influential chat. And Carson has an inside look. Check it out.
It is the best time of the day. It is Pop Start.
Oh, no children. No graphics.
What happened to graphics?
No, they're all busy this morning.
Goldie?
Goldie's in the other room, and Ed is watching Goldie. Siri's got the other two. London and Jackson had checkups this morning, so they're doing that.
Wow.
So it's just old me. But I loved your conversation with Meghan, man.
Thank you.
She's one of my favorite people. You know, she got signed so fast, and everything happened so fast for her. I love to see this side of her, happy with Daryl and baby Riley. That was really cool. All right, so first up here, we've got Dolly Parton and Tim McGraw. That's right, the two country music superstars caught up recently on McGraw's Apple Music radio show. It's called Beyond the Influence. And during their conversation, the two Grammy winners, who, by the way, also have carved out careers acting in Hollywood, opened up about the differences in performing as a musician and as an actor. Dolly revealing this reason why she decided to take a chance on the big screen and join the cast in 9 to 5.
I had been asked a lot of times to be in the movies, and I didn't think I was quite ready yet. When 9 to 5 came along, I had Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. They were both so hot at the time, and I thought, well, if there's any time to start, this would be now, because if it's a big hit, then I can share in the glory of it, and if it's a failure, I can blame it all on them, and I'll walk away free. But actually,
Well, of course, 9 to 5 was definitely no failure. Dolly's theme song, by the way, for the movie 9 to 5 was nominated for an Academy Award, and the song won 2 Grammys. So that ended up working out really well for her. Next up, right here, the biggest rock group in the world, the Rolling Stones, the legendary group, just announcing this morning that they are hitting the road. Wow. The Stones are heading back out this fall to continue the second leg of their No Filter tour. Of course, they started this tour back in 2019, had to postpone it during the pandemic. Shows are going to get kicked off this September in St. Louis, and then from there, the band's going to head all over the U.S. Mick Jagger, who's about to become 78 next week, I believe, says that he's so excited to get back out on the stage again. Tickets go on sale this Friday for the Rolling Stones. That is going to be one great show.
We gotta go.
To check out. Speaking of music and concerts, does this ring a bell to anybody? I know, because I was there back in 1999. This is a look of the upcoming HBO documentary on Woodstock 99. Peace, love, and rage. The film explores the infamous 3-day music festival that has been referred to commonly as the day the 90s died. Before there was the Fire Festival debacle, Woodstock 99 was known as one of the biggest festival failures of all time. We have an exclusive first look at the documentary. Grammy-nominated artist Jewel is in this clip, recalling what it was like to be on stage in front of that extremely hostile crowd.
When I went out, the crowd felt strange. They felt really tired and very depleted. Felt like there was a gray, dense fog hanging over everything. And for me to try and figure out, how do I cut through that? How do I create a tone or a voice or a sound that's going to cut through this really strange, heavy energy was definitely at the forefront of my mind while I'm singing. I didn't know what was going on particularly.
It's really a great documentary, guys. It's done by Bill Simmons, who's a great storyteller. He I think did those 30 for 30s on ESPN back in the day, and he put this thing together. And it really is, it's interesting. You probably remember this because for all the testosterone, Limp Bizkit singing Nookie, the crowd going crazy. Metallica was there, Kid Rock. Jewel, I believe, was only one of 3 female artists, and there was about 60 male artists, and the documentary goes on to basically draw an umbilical cord between sort of white men at that time in the 90s and sort of where we are today. It's a really well done documentary. It's called HBO's Woodstock 99, Peace, Love, and Rage, and that premieres on HBO Max on July 23rd. All right, finally, this guy, the great actor there, that's from Full House. You know him, you love him, John Stamos. And Hoda, you sat down with John recently for Quoted By, and during your conversation, John shared one of his favorite quotes by American novelist Thomas Wolfe. Take a look.
What was important, perhaps, was not that the beggar was drunk and reeling, but that he was mounted on his horse and, however unsteadily, was going somewhere. Why does that speak to you?
Look, just the idea of going forward is so important, and growing and moving forward. I think people get caught up in, it's not happening fast enough, or I'm not getting where I need to be. It's just as long as you're on your horse, however unsteadily, if you're going somewhere, then you're doing something, right?
Yes.
Hoda, what was it like talking with John?
It was cool. It just sort of spoke to his longevity, you know. He wasn't just like, he didn't have a moment in Hollywood. He just kept going. He kind of kept reinventing. And I like that. He says he's still unsteady even now, and he just keeps pushing through. But yeah, it was really cool speaking with him.
He's ageless, by the way.
I know.
Such a great guy.
The hair is on point, man. The hair.
He does. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I hate him for that, but he's an awesome guy. All right, you can catch their full conversation over at today.com.
Up next on Today Talks, Dylan and Al catch up with M. Night Shyamalan about his latest project. Stay with us.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Welcome back. Today on the third hour, the gang sits down with the master of suspense, M. Night Shyamalan, about his newest project. Take a look.
All right, if you suddenly found yourself aging fast and only had one more night on Earth, how would you spend it? Well, that's the premise of the new film Old, written and directed by master of suspense M. Night Shyamalan.
It follows a group of folks visiting a secluded beach who discover that time starts moving forward at an unprecedented pace. Gael Garcia Bernal stars as Guy, a father reeling from the fact that his 11-year-old daughter and 6-year-old son have aged about 5 years in just a few hours.
I think we should leave. Get the kids back to the resort.
Guy.
Yeah, Dad, me. What's going on?
Oh,
Wow.
so creepy.
Oh, my. Gael Garcia Bernal and M. Night Shyamalan join us now. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for being here.
Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Hey,
Hello.
Well, hello. Congratulations on this new film. Fascinating and terrifying at the same time. And Knight, I understand you were inspired to write this after you read a graphic novel your daughters gave you?
Yes, interestingly enough, it was a Father's Day gift that my 3 daughters gave me, and they found it in this little comic book store in Philadelphia, this graphic novel by a French author, and very obscure, impossible to find. And I love this premise. As you can see, it's very moving. It's what we all think about, how fast time is moving. We blink and our kids are so old, and they're different human beings, and our parents have become frail. So these are the things that were on my mind, and this amazing graphic novel had a kind of a Twilight Zone take on it. I loved it.
I've been seeing the billboards around New York City, and even that alone, just that one snap picture is creepy. I can't wait for everybody to see this movie. It's so great. And Gael, you actually, you would think shooting during a pandemic, spending 3 months on the beach would be ideal. And you said it kind of was reminiscent of being on stage, though. How so?
Yeah. Well, it was quite ideal in a way, and it seemed like being on stage because the whole setting is on this beach where there's a wall in the back, there's an ocean in front, and there's left and right. So that represented itself a limitation that also gave us a big challenge. I mean, where do you hide? How do we tell this story and how do we shoot it? And also, in accordance to what the tides also gave us. And so Knight and the whole team kind of managed to pull this off in a really good way.
And Knight, I guess two of your daughters worked on the film. That could be a dicey situation.
They've grown up in the House of Arts here, and now they're these adults and incredible filmmakers and musicians. Ishana, my middle daughter, is a filmmaker. She's directed and written on Servant and really is kind of one of the anchor filmmakers of that show. And she second unit directed the movie. So she was at one end of the beach and I was at the other. And it was just an amazing experience. And then my daughter, Salika, who's this amazing musician, and her album's coming out later this year, she wrote this song that's really important to the movie and important to the characters. And so it was an amazing experience to see them do all this stuff and lean on them.
Yeah.
And this movie is definitely dramatic. I mean, it's creepy, it's suspenseful. Gael, how do you decompress after you shoot a bunch of scenes?
Oh, well, we had a really good opportunity to also be barefoot during 3 months, So that gave us a lot of ground. and we were in a little bubble as well, shooting this film in a very harmonic, we used to hang out a lot and we used to cook for each other. We made very, very, very small parties, with the people involved, So it was a really nice opportunity to also talk about all the philosophical kind of interrogations that this film brings, not only as a result, but also whilst making it. We were wondering how, what's going on, what's happening, what would happen if time would travel so fast, all of a sudden. So it was nice, a very nice thing to do in the middle of the pandemic, and we had a lot of time to decompress, I guess.
And Knight, you've got the film about to premiere, and you're currently working on the third season of your show, Servant.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's healthy to be kind of, always around artists, and I've, Servant has given me this opportunity to kind of bring these amazing artists from around the world to work on our show. In fact, one of our directors just won the Cannes Film Festival, and so we're so proud of everything they achieve, and they inspire me, and that's kind of made me more daring, like Old is an incredibly, provocative movie. And I think, I'm so old now that I would probably be very conservative. So these young bucks are all teaching me to be, be daring. Go, don't play it safe. Go. So I didn't play it safe.
Love it. All right. Well, Gael and Knight, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Old from Universal Pictures, which is part of our parent company, NBC Universal, hits theaters tomorrow. Third hour of Today. We'll be right back.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, all the latest buzz and the cast of Ted Lasso. Stay with us.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Meaning, see the expression, rise and shine.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Welcome back. Today on Hoda and Jenna, it's Hoda's last show in New York City before she leaves for Tokyo. Check it out. And it's a big day for me because the cast of well, not just for me, for you, and for all of you, and for you.
The guys, okay, the guys.
Ted Lasso.
The guys in studio have been like perked up.
Sudeikis.
I saw some people sneaking pictures like they didn't see. Zach, I saw,
Zach was just there taking a picture?
Snap. Well, you know what? You got to sneak a few in.
And you guys, if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, I'm not really sure what you're waiting for because it is the amount of happiness and sunshine and hilarity that we all need.
Well, there are very few shows that you can say to somebody, have you seen this?
Yes.
And there's like a collective,
Yes.
yeah.
You have a little something wet on your
Where?
nose. Right
Get it.
there. Do you feel that?
No, what was it?
I'm not sure. There was just like a little sheen of wetness. Maybe water? Did you spit a little water up there?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know what, you guys? We are excited because Hoda is about to leave for Tokyo. And you guys, come, please. Hoda's leaving.
There's lots of room.
I'm going to be lonely.
Yes.
Please come to the plaza and hang with us. We're going to all be out there. Well, not all, but I'll be out
you'll
there.
be out there. Yeah.
I'll be out there, and we are inviting a fully vaccinated crowd. See that plaza? It's going to be all decked out. We want you to join us every weekday morning during the games, Monday, July 26th through Friday, August 6th. The first week I'm going to be there. We're going to see Hoda and Savannah in Tokyo. Then they come back.
Yeah, so we're all going to be on the plaza for week 2. But I think it's really cool, this whole thing, because to be able to watch the Olympics with a bunch of people
from Rockefeller
in the
Center.
heart of Manhattan, I always found it so weird whenever there was like a concert in the middle of Rockefeller Center in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. But right there at 49th Street and 6th Avenue, between 5th and 6th, that's where we are. That little corner. And if you happen to be visiting, stroll by. We want all these fully vaccinated folks to come out there and cheer.
Right now, go ahead and go to today.com/plaza just to figure out how you can come join us because we want you to celebrate with us.
We want to celebrate with you guys,
And I'm going to really miss you, Hoda.
I'm going to miss you, too.
I love you.
I love you, too. Isn't it so cool? I mean, we loved each other before this show started, but I just find it just so cool, like how excited I am to see you.
Me too.
How bummed I am I'm leaving you.
You know what? And yes, thank God, because we work together every day, and I feel like this is a friendship we couldn't fake. But I wanted to get you a little something. So Jerry has a basket of stuff that you can just throw in your suitcase.
Wait, what is it? Wait, what is it? What is it? What is it? What'd you get?
I got you a Thighmaster, which I actually wanted for myself because nothing works better than a Thighmaster.
This is the Suzanne Summers Thighmaster?
Yeah, can you fit that in your suitcase?
I think I can. What else?
I got you all your favorite little... Look, for real.
You know I'm packing that.
No, for real.
Did you get the kinds we like? What's in here?
Is this the kind you like?
I love them all. Ooh,
No,
the
it's
silver. That is, yes, I love a silver. Oh my God, you got the 1800. You got the Don Julio.
Is that the one you
Patron.
like?
Okay, it looks like we are ready. Oh my God, now I'm ready.
And then I told you I would bring your books. Hell of a book. Good company. And Great Circle.
These are all good
really
ones.
long. You might read it just in the week, but take these.
Take these too?
They're going to be great, all three.
Oh, and chips. Yeah, because they said bring snacks.
Well, I just feel like these are...
Jerry, you can take this. I'll just...
Excuse me. I need my Thighmaster. I was going to say the books, but no, really.
I think I am going to pack this. Jerry, can I? Okay, thank you.
But what about the books? You don't want the books?
Oh, no, of course I'll take the books because I'm going to need those. How does that work?
You don't remember?
It goes between your legs, but you spread. It looks like, I thought you were supposed to squeeze it. Oh, you put it on the outside of your thighs.
Wait, try it.
Inside?
Yeah, it doesn't work inside.
No, I think this one looks like it's an outside. I think this one's, is this the real one? Thighmaster.
Yeah, it's the real Thighmaster. Put it out.
No, this is not right.
Okay, I'll show you.
You push out?
Yeah, but
But you can't because it doesn't. No, Meredith. No, you can't flip it. It's not as.
It's different this thigh master.
not the one.
Maybe it's for all body parts. Like you're working your arms.
But how do you? Maybe you put it on the outside.
Yeah, because see, Meredith,
Be
there's
careful, because careful, because you gotta be careful.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's nothing to squeeze.
It doesn't
Meredith.
really work.
But anyway, maybe it's too much.
But we'll work on it.
All right, but
thank you,
before
Jerry.
You go, will you just put that in my dressing room? I'm going to want to learn how to use it. Before you go, it's time for our final installment of
Japanese with Ease.
All right, and our graphics coordinator, our friend and resident Japanese studies major, C, she's back to help us with some helpful phrases. Hey, C, okay, so we want to cheer our team on. We want to cheer, so help us out. How should we cheer?
Okay, so our first cheer we're going to divide up into 3 parts. Altogether, it's ganbatte. So, gan. Bat. Te.
Ganbatte.
Ganbatte.
What does that mean? Yay?
So it means do your best, good luck, you got this.
Do your best.
Ganbatte.
Yep. So, ganbatte, when you go out to Japan, hopefully you remembered some of my lessons.
Konnichiwa. Okay, what else?
How about congratulating somebody? How do we do it?
So after somebody has performed, the best thing to say to them is otsu.
Otsu?
Kare.
Sama. Otsukare-sama. Say it again.
So, otsukare-sama.
Otsekare-sama.
So it literally translates to you must be so tired. So it's like saying thank you for your hard work. You did great out there.
Okay. And what about after? We really want to cheer after the competition.
Yes.
Really let them know how excited we are.
So this is one of my favorite things. I think it's going to be your favorite thing that you're going to learn.
Okay.
And when you're at the after party, you're celebrating, you've got your drink. I've got water with me right now.
Yeah.
You're going to hold up your drink, and cheers is kanpai.
Kanpai.
Perfect. You did so great this week. I'm so happy.
We appreciate you. It's so good to see you on TV, too.
Love you,
C.
too.
Love you guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, it's Purse Day
What was
Thursday.
it? What was the last one? You already forgot it. Kanpai?
Kanpai.
Kanpai. See, you forget. That's what happens. Okay, Purse Day Thursday.
Purse Day Thursday.
Okay, so we grab our purses.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
I
what our
already saw
producers have for... Oh, this
You
thing.
know what this thing is? It looks
This is...
like a snake.
Oops. It's a weighted hula hoop.
We already knew about it. But,
So wait, you put it on.
So you snap it in.
Snap it in.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, you have to
Down.
do the thing.
I got mine. Okay.
I got
now what do you
mine.
do?
Okay.
Okay,
and
now what?
Uh-oh. You have
Okay.
to pull the little black thing.
Oh,
Okay.
pull it back. That's right, Jerry.
Should I
you told
try?
me.
Ooh, ow. Oh.
You okay?
I
It's got to be on the outside.
Yeah, I'm having
Oh, wait, look at this girl. This is how you're supposed to do it. How's it go around?
Unfortunately, my ball thing is messed up.
Throw it. You got to throw it first. I think the other way. Go in. Ready? So you go like...
Shoot. There we go. Good job, Hoda.
You got it.
Ooh. Hurts my lower back.
By the way, for people who can't hula hoop, this is... Don't hurt your lower back.
Oh, wait, does that not look very good?
No, it looks good.
really bad. Oh, gosh.
I think you have to... Hold on, I got it.
Ready? You go boom. Throw it. Hoda. Oh, wow.
Okay.
There's nothing...
No, there's nothing sexy about that.
No, that's actually horrible.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's cute though, but by the way, it's weighted and it's supposed to be a good workout. That's what somebody said.
I have to say, I do feel a little out of breath. Today Talks continues after the break. Don't miss my exclusive chat with Hoda. You can only see here on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Welcome back to Today Talks and our exclusive content you can only see here on Today All Day.
Okay, we dreamt of having Ted Lasso and his crew here.
Jason Sudeikis.
We
like to call him Ted.
Like. We like to call everybody by their names that they are on TV. But having them here in studio, wasn't that kind of better than you imagined?
It was
something about their...
But I have to say, I went
Brendan
to bed.
Is so funny.
Brendan is hilarious.
He's the one who plays the assistant coach, Coach Beard, probably because he has a beard.
Oh, you think they did that? I don't know, but I have to tell you, both of us loved this show.
Yeah.
We watched it
Yeah.
with our men.
Yeah.
And there's something about the fact that first of all, Jason Sudeikis is so kind and that he
for real.
capitalized on that kindness and compassion and created a show where it's like you can lead with love.
Well, you always think of coaches as being tough. You know,
Yeah,
you gotta grind
tough
them
love,
down.
fear,
Yeah,
maybe
you're
fear.
terrible. Get better. And this guy's like, oh well, you didn't do well. We tied. Oh well, let's come back tomorrow and try again. Like there's a very kind of folksy, cool thing that you wouldn't see coming.
And I know that Savannah texted you during the thing.
Yeah, she thinks he's fine like wine.
Well, I told Henry while we were watching, I both wanted to marry Ted Lasso because how nice would it be married to somebody that's like, okay, team, we
Let's
believe.
go. We believe. I know.
Like so kind like that. And I'm also very attracted to Roy Fleek.
Roy Fleek, he's the one who never smiles. He's got the beard. He's the older player. But he's got such a gentle spirit.
Yes.
I think that may be the common thread because Rebecca, who plays the owner, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's annoying. I hate when people do this. They're like, anyway, Rebecca, who's the owner, you know.
I know.
But anyway, she plays this steely, tough, 6 foot, like you feel like she's like just
powerful.
too much.
Yeah.
And in there, you watch her vulnerability, which is the best. And speaking of vulnerability, Brendan, who's the assistant coach with the beard, he said that he thought that the show was going to be a success when Brene Brown started talking about it.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said that. He said Brene Brown said she liked it. And she claimed that Brendan is like a special kind of sexy. But when you can hit men, like our guys, when you can hit women, very few shows I feel like do that.
Because the truth is when you hear the synopsis, like when I heard the synopsis of Sex Life, I was sort of in. When you hear the synopsis of...
It always comes back to Sex Life.
No, it really doesn't. You like to bring it there.
I did not bring it up.
You like to take it there.
You took a clean family show and brought in Sex Life.
Okay.
Right here.
But I will tell you, when you hear the synopsis, it's about a soccer coach who goes from, small town America to London to coach a football team that he knows nothing about. Like, when I tell you that, you like sports movies?
I like sports movies.
Are you interested in?
I mean, I would watch a comedy about that, but you're right. It's not
better than it seems.
It's 1,000 times better. It's like you know how Friday Night Lights was about more than the game?
Yes, of course
it's
I know that.
But funny too.
And it's also, so funny, and there's moments that are kind of like bad, So it's like, because Davey was saying this, and it's so true. He's like, it's a family show that says the F word. Like, you feel like you could...
Who says the F word?
Roy Feek says the F word.
Oh, Roy, yeah.
There's some bad words in it. You don't even know
I forgot.
that.
You know what? He does do that.
You don't even know that, because the truth is, and I've seen a couple episodes of this season. There's some adult content, but the truth is, I still was like, should we let Mila watch it with us? He's like, no.
But it's right.
It's about goodness.
Right. If you could bleep out all of that Roy Feek, whatever.
Is his name Fleek or
No,
Feek?
nobody even
knows.
Nope. First of all, people are confused by us saying people's names.
I know.
They're like, we don't know which one.
I'm sorry that
it's the tough older soccer player.
That's handsome.
Hot. All right, that's it. That was fun. Sorry
We
if we
had
bored
fun.
you. We did. Anyway, thanks for watching Today All Day. There's always more content.
Always.
It's
every
everywhere
day. And have fun at the
everywhere.
Olympics. I'll
Thank
miss
you.
you.
And I'll see you when I get back.
Yes.
And we'll be talking on the
Hi, everybody. First of all, congratulations. I can say you're an Olympian. Does it feel that way yet? Raise your hand if you feel like an Olympian. Raise your hand if it still isn't quite sinking in yet that you're an Olympian.
Yeah. I'm 18, I'm Phoebe Bacon. I'm 19, I'm Alex Walsh. I'm 19, I'm Reagan Smith. I'm 19, I'm Kate Douglas. I'm 18, I'm Tori Husk. I am 17, I'm Lydia Jacoby.
I'm 19 and I'm Jake Mitchell.
I'm 19 and I'm Emma White. I'm 17 and I'm Claire Curzan. I'm 16 and I'm Bella Sims. I'm 15 and I'm Katie Grimes.
Jake, how does it feel being the only guy? You're holding it down.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
So Claire, let me start with you, Claire. You just turned 17 years old, is that right?
Yes.
I hear you had a unique training setup during the pandemic because a lot of people realize that, look, things were postponed for a while. Things have been kind of weird, but now you're back in it. But what were you doing during the pandemic to stay in shape?
So my neighbor had a backdoor pool, so I was able to kind of steal her pool for a little bit and use a bungee cord to do some resistance training. So it was pretty chilly, and I had a wetsuit on for a while, but it was really great to be in the water.
So you're literally in your neighbor's pool during the pandemic using bungee cords just to try to stay fit.
Yeah.
But clearly it all paid off.
It did.
How old are you, Katie?
I'm 15.
You're 15 years old?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's cool, but I don't know. I was just on, I'm like the youngest in everything. Like I'm the youngest in our swim team group. I'm the youngest in my family. At some point, I was the youngest to qualify for the trials, so it's just kind of fitting.
How long have you been swimming?
I started my club team when I was about 5, so like about a decade. Yeah. Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So Reagan, you are 19 years old. This is what we think is pretty cool. You posted a picture of yourself. It was on Instagram. I think it was a yearbook picture from when you were 11 years old. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
Tell me about that picture and what did the caption say underneath it?
Yeah, so it was like my 5th grade yearbook, and it was what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I said that I wanted to be an Olympian. Yeah.
Oh,
very sweet.
They say what you think about, you bring about, and so now here you are all these years later as an Olympian, one of the teenagers on the team. You guys are making history as teenagers. What about for you? How does this feel? Is it surreal? I mean, again, this is something you've been working for years.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like a dream come true, absolutely. And it always sort of felt like an unattainable dream just because the Olympics are so romanticized. And especially with this pandemic going on, we didn't really know, if the Olympics were going to happen at all. So it's very cool and very surreal that they're happening and I get to be a part of it. So it's very special.
So I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm thinking about all of the kids and teenagers, not just in the US, but around the world who swim. And yet here you are, 11 of you, and you made the cut. Does it sink in that you're frankly one of the best swimmers in the world?
No, not at all.
What about for you, Reagan? When I say you guys and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are some of the best swimmers in the world. Does that sink in?
Not really, honestly, because when we're all here together, it just feels like a normal group of kids.
So Lydia, you are 17 years old, and as I understand it, you are the first Olympic swimmer to come from Alaska. Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
The state must be thrilled for you. Tell me about the support that you're getting from the folks in Alaska.
Yeah, it's been so cool. I know Alaska itself is a really small community just because our population size is so small, but within that, Alaska swimming is an even tighter community, so that's been great to have all that support. And when I came back from in the airport, everybody came and met me. And yeah, it's been great.
When you landed and you went back home in June, when you landed at the airport, how did it feel to see that crowd and all of those people there just to support you?
It was crazy. I mean, I've been getting tons of texts and messages and stuff. Like, I couldn't even keep up with it. But to just see that in person when I came home was another whole thing. So that was pretty cool.
Is there an adjustment going from, a small swim club at home to, Olympic training camp in Hawaii?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at home, I have people to train with, but nobody to go to meets with and everything. So it's just been really neat getting to train with people who are on my level and can push me.
Is it different? I read that this training camp in Hawaii is the first time you've consistently worked out in a 50-meter pool.
Yeah, we only have one 50-meter pool in Alaska, and they keep it in short course. So this is my first time swimming long course. Yeah.
What? Are you guys surprised? I guess you did. So wait, Phoebe, you're 18 years old. You're from Maryland. So this is what is really cool. So tell me if this is true. In pre-K, you were paired with a 4th grade mentor. Can you tell everybody who that was?
It was Katie Ledecky.
What are the odds? What was she like?
Yeah, I know when I was that young, I don't think me or her knew what swimmers we were going to become. And then it was just, we were becoming friends. And that kind of started our relationship to now being on the same Olympic team together.
It has to be somewhat surreal. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, right? So the odds that I end up working with somebody else from my hometown on the Today Show would be very odd. So for you, what are the odds that you guys were swimming as little ones and now you're together at the Olympics? Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, I think it's wild, especially, I don't know how they paired us up because we have both very different personalities. But it's just crazy.
And then when you saw her as an Olympian, I guess it was back in 2012, did you think, I want to do that too?
Yeah, that was the first moment I kind of felt like the Olympic dream was possible for me. Just from her being from a small community, and maybe I could too.
Phoebe, how much work, goes on behind the scenes? What don't we see when it comes to making a spot?
I think it's a lot of work. There's all the recovery, and then there's the fueling and nutrition, and then if you're in school, you're also doing that on the side, and it's a lot to take in, but we seem to all kind of balance it well, and I feel like swimmers are really good at time management, which really helps.
How often are you swimming a day, Phoebe?
Either once or twice a day. Usually for me, some days I'll have an hour and a half practices, and then other days it'll be up to 3 hours. It kind of depends if I'm swimming once or twice a day.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey, reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you. Cheers. We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Kate Douglas and Alice Walsh, you're both 19 years old?
Yes.
So this is so cool because you both swim for UVA and you punched your ticket to Tokyo, during the same race. What was that moment like for you two?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember, in the warm-up pool before the race, our coach looked at us and he was like, just let's do this together, let's make the team together. And I mean, I was a little bit scared to say that because I think I was kind of in denial that I even had a chance of making the team, but I think it definitely helped motivate me just knowing that me and my teammate can make the team together. So that was just super exciting.
And how cool is that? You guys came in first and second, right?
Yeah.
When you're swimming, I've always wondered, what's on your mind? I mean, you guys are so fast, you're so good. Are you in a zone or, what are you thinking about when every millisecond counts?
I mean, I guess at the end of that race, I'm thinking about the pain of the race and trying to push it out of my mind so that I can finish the race as fast as I can. In that race, I just put my head down once I got to the flags, and I knew that was my last chance to finish the race and try to get a spot on the team.
And what about you, Alex, when you're going into something like that?
Yeah, I would say the finals at Olympic trials is a really unique atmosphere that I know it's really hard to prepare for just because the nerves and they're really high. But yeah, I'm really grateful that I had Kate next to me because we're training partners and I knew we know how the other one is going to swim the race, and we both know that it's going to be really close on the last 50 meters of freestyle. So having her there, I think that was really good for both of us.
And Alex, what did your family think?
I saw my mom was crying obviously a lot. I think they were feeling a lot of the emotions that I was feeling too. I think people kind of forget that the family it's kind of like a team effort almost, just because everyone has their own support system going through the same thing. So I think they were just as happy as I was.
Tori, you are 18 years old from Virginia.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the fact that so many athletes were bummed, because the Olympics were delayed a year. But did you think perhaps maybe it helped younger athletes like you guys? It gave you a little bit more time, or what do you think about that extra time?
I think it probably made a huge difference in all of our swimming this year. I feel like the extra year really gave us time to perfect our technique, and also I feel for the younger athletes, I feel strength, at least for me, was a really important and game-changing aspect of my swimming. So it gave me a whole other year to work on my strength training and just to get stronger. So I feel for me it made a really big difference.
So in some ways it was like a silver lining to have that extra time.
Yeah, I feel obviously COVID wasn't great, but I feel I tried to be optimistic and to make the best out of it.
Bella, you are 16 years old from Vegas.
Yes.
Is it true that you only started swimming 6 years ago?
Yeah, I started swimming when I was 10, yeah.
And now you're an Olympian? What made you decide to start 6 years ago?
My friends swim, and I would just go over their house and have sleepovers, and they'd have to go to practice, and I'd just have to watch, and I was like, dang, that's kind of fascinating. I want to try. And then I did lessons, and the instructor was like, you're kind of good, you should try developmental, the swim team. And going from 5 meters to the 25 is a push. And then I realized I loved it when my parents were would ask me, and yeah.
You're so laid back about it. You're oh yeah, I just go in, I just swim, but you're obviously really good. How would you describe your journey to get here? How much did it take behind the scenes to get that spot?
Definitely practicing some every day. I used to watch YouTube videos on how to perfect my technique, and I would try to use it in practice. And if I ever felt I needed more work, I'd go to the gym with my brother or stuff like that.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Jake, you're 19, right?
Yeah.
From Indiana. And so you had placed second in the 400 freestyle, but didn't make the qualifying time for the Olympics. So you had to do a time trial by yourself to see if you could beat that time. How nerve-wracking was that?
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, the entire day kind of leading up to it, I was kind of wondering if I'd be able to do it because I couldn't do it in finals, and I never really had like a tapered meet like kind of leading up to that, so I didn't know exactly how fast I was going to go. I just knew that I trained really well for it. But then as it got closer, I just was trying to shift my mindset to being more grateful for having the opportunity to get another chance at it, and yeah, so that nerve just turned into excitement.
Wait, Jake, did you just give us some words of wisdom? So when you're crazy nervous, as opposed to just racking your brain with nerves, you find a space for gratitude? Does that help?
Absolutely. At my club team, growing up, we always had like talks about gratitude and how powerful it can be if you use it in the right way. So just like working on the mental side of things really helped me in that kind of situation.
So I am not an Olympic swimmer, but can I tell you, Jake, that I honestly think that you just taught us something, whether you are a swimmer, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a dancer, you know, whether you're a student, we all feel nerves sometimes. And I guess I never thought about taking those, you know, that anxiety and trying to fuel it into being, you know, gracious. That's awesome. And it also helps me, it reminds me, you know, how much would you say, Jake, when it comes to swimming or when things get really competitive, how much of it is a mind game or is mental versus the skill set itself? Is it a balance?
Like for us, like when you get to a meet, it's like all the mental side because all the physical stuff's done. So it's really just like about focusing on yourself and what you can do and like the controllables, not focusing on things that are out of your control, just making sure that you're doing the best that you can to be the best that you can be.
And what does your family think about this, Jake?
They were super excited. I remember like after I finished the race, I like ran outside and gave my parents a hug, and I had family all around kind of texting me and calling me and congratulating me, so it was really, really nice.
And is it true, you guys, tell me the record, is this the most teenagers they've had since 1996? Did I read that? Emma, let me bring you in here. You train, I know, and train for this moment, but it still has to be so overwhelming, if you will. Have you received any advice that gets you through?
I actually met Elizabeth Beisel at trials after my 4 a.m., which is so cool because I've looked up to her for so long. And it's really an honor to follow in her footsteps. She gave me a card and she talked to me about having the 4 a.m. on the first day of the meet and kind of how to handle the pressures of it all, which was so cool.
How many of you are on Instagram? Show of hands. Show of hands, how many of you are on TikTok?
Oh, yeah.
So I guess this is just the way of the future. Do you ever find yourself reading comments, or does it fuel you in a positive way? I mean, for any teenager, social media, you know, has its pros and cons. What about for you guys?
I mean, I think most of the comments were positive after that. Like leading up to the meet, I try to stay off social media of all the swimming stuff, but I mean, after it was all just mainly like congratulations, which I'm super thankful for my family and friends.
I know sometimes when I have a long day, I'll be honest, I'll open up Instagram and I'll kind of scroll and it kind of takes me away, kind of lets my mind relax a little bit. What about for you guys? How do you unwind, if you will? Because I know that it's probably stressful.
I mean, I think I try to separate swimming from the rest of my life when I get home, kind of try to shut that off. You know, like hang out with my sisters, I have 3 of them, and kind of like unplug and think about the next day.
I read for somebody, this is your first time traveling out of the country. Who is that for? Raise your hand if this is your first time traveling. How does that feel?
Good. I mean, if I'm gonna go out of the country for my first time, might as well be for the Olympics.
So you're training right now with some legends. First of all, going to Hawaii any day would be awesome, but training there with Olympic legends. Is there anybody that you're like secretly kind of geeking out for or seeing?
I'd say just kind of everyone. Like the first day, Coach Greg told us just to get in the lane with people you don't know. So obviously this is kind of one of my big first national team trips. So I got in the lane with Kayla Decky, which was crazy because I mean, I used to only see her on like media and stuff. So she's been so nice and just welcoming to us. And it's been great just getting to know everyone.
I've always wanted to train with Ryan Murphy just because like he's like such a legend in the like backstroke community. And last night I finally got to like train right next to him, and it was like such an awesome moment.
How about for any of you, is there anybody, even going to Tokyo, I know it's going to be a little different this year, but is there anybody you love to meet that's an Olympian with any sport? Anybody?
I want to meet Simone Biles. Me too. She's so cool. Yeah.
What is it about Simone Biles that you guys admire?
She's the GOAT. Yeah. Yeah. She rocks. I just think she's so cool. I love watching her like highlight reels at her competitions.
Well, I can't wait to watch your highlight reel as well. Okay, I know you guys are all still getting to know each other, but who would you say, is there anybody in this group that has the most intense pre-race superstition?
Me? Yeah. What do I do? She's like, I'm like, it's so scary. It's so intimidating. Because she comes out.
That's so funny. What does that do? Does that just hype you up?
Yeah, you know, it just gets me going. It's got to scare the competition.
Who would you say, and again, I know you guys are just gelling as a team, but who would you say is the most relaxed before a race?
I don't think anyone's relaxed.
Anybody goof off during training, or who's the comedian? Who likes to have fun?
Phoebe.
You again?
She likes to joke in the ready room.
I mean, like,
and what is it? Does it just kind of keep the attitude light, or what's your thought?
Like, I like swimming mostly just because it is so much fun. And like just today at practice, we were definitely doing a hard set, and like I was trying to keep everybody positive. I feel like just because like I enjoy it, and I want everybody else to enjoy it.
What is it like there in Hawaii? Who's there? What are you seeing? What are you doing?
I think it's gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, outside all of our windows are just like this beautiful, like multi-blue colored beaches, like ocean, and then like we're walking around outside and it's just nice out. It's sunny all the time. Like coming from a Wisconsin winter, this is amazing.
Does it feel, for any of you guys, does it feel surreal?
It's just now kind of starting to sink in now that we're like all together and like you're spending time with everyone, but it's still definitely surreal.
What are you most looking forward to in Tokyo?
Trading pins. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wearing the flag on my head. That's probably the coolest part.
Probably meeting people from other countries.
Do you get to do the opening ceremony?
I think if you swim later in the meet, you're allowed to, or like you're more likely to.
You know, you guys are still young, but did any of you ever watch the Olympics and look at swimming and just dream and wish that maybe one day you two could be there?
Yeah.
All of you?
Yeah.
Show of hands, how many of you watched the Olympics in years past and dreamed of being there? That's amazing. What is it that you love about swimming in this sport?
I'm just like super competitive, and I love the fact that everyone gets to push each other and then but I think we're all pretty supportive of each other, and it just makes everything better.
And Tori, how does it feel when you're in that water and you're swimming, you're doing the butterfly, like I don't even know the terminology. How does it feel when you're at your best? What does that feel like?
Well, in a race, I feel like I'm not really even thinking. Like I'm kind of just like going. I feel like thinking, I guess, is more like for practice. But when I'm at my best, I feel like my mind is pretty blank.
And my last question, somebody speak in behalf of all of you, what it feels like to be a teenager at the Olympics. You guys are seriously making records as this team being so young. Somebody speak on behalf of all of you, what you want the country to know from you guys.
Dream big, have fun. I don't know. It's an honor to be here, and it's so fun that we can represent our country, hopefully for many more years to come.
Well, thank you guys so much. All the best. We'll be rooting for you. I mean, gosh, at 15 years old, 17, 19, the sky is the limit. Thank you guys so much. And good luck in Tokyo.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Meaning to the expression, rise and shine.
Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
It was a gloomy afternoon in Manhattan for our first in-person buddy-up in over a year. But we weren't about to let it rain on our parade.
This is the first time we've been together in person.
It's been a while. I'm so happy.
We've got a little urgency because there's a big line of thunderstorms.
Just saw that. We are the
weather wizards.
Oh, my goodness.
So let's get it going.
Our first backyard game, a classic, cornhole.
How do you score cornhole?
So I think, if I remember correctly, I'm usually pretty drunk. In the hole is 3, on the board is 2, off the board, half off the board, like if it's dangling, it's 1.
Are you taking notes on this? Well, yes, it's the score. Ooh! Oh!
Wow. Doofus.
Oh, name calling this early?
Oh! Look at me! Look at me! I'm Craig. I'm awesome.
Oh! Boom!
Look at you!
Yes.
Look at you!
Yes. Cornhole Pro! Cornhole Pro! Yes! Yes!
15-9.
We're up.
News nerds? All right.
That's what we want. Yes!
I thought we had some wiggle room.
Boom!
In a shock to everyone, the news nerds are up 1-0. But the stakes are getting higher in a supersized version of Connect 4.
All right, here we go. You gotta get 4 in a row.
Okay.
4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Ready? Ladies
Yes.
first.
Okay. Smart move. You don't want them to get anything, so don't put anything down because then they can.
Good catch. Good catch.
Is this the least we've ever talked? Ow!
Yes! The old man's lost it!
You did it!
The old man's lost it!
He just wanted the game to end!
Okay, what's up? Next.
Things aren't looking great for both Team Weather Wizards or literally the weather.
There's lightning and thunder coming.
Is that becoming like a roll cloud? Look at that.
With the storm approaching, it's time to get a move on for our grand finale, Can Jam.
If it just hits the side, that's 1 point. You throw it, falls in, that's 2 points.
Will Team Weather put any points on the scoreboard?
If it's above and you knock it in, right? You jam it, that's 3 points. If it goes straight in, game over.
Good try. That was good. This storm's getting
Now,
vicious.
watch it, it'll go 4-3.
Okay, fine, just hit the thing.
Oh, close.
So
4-4. That might have gone in.
All right, 4-4.
First one to 5. All right.
6.
Mean Can Jam.
Despite the Weather Wizards' Can Jam comeback, they were still down 2-1. We had a choice, keep going or stay dry. as you can hear, and as we've seen,
Okay.
ta-da, we've got a line of pretty severe thunderstorms rolling in.
It would
So
seem to be that way.
I think it's time to call this buddy up. Why? Because I don't want to die.
Go News Nerds, we won.
You won, yay! Makes them feel better.
Oh, we heard you.
Hey, Today All Day, up next on Hashtag Cooking, Samadada is saying bye-bye to boring avocado toast with 2 of her favorite avocado-packed recipes. Then she'll banish sad desk lunches forever with a savory turmeric oatmeal and crispy cauliflower popper.
Hey guys, it's Sama. I am so excited to share 2 of my favorite recipes with you today. They both use an avocado, and they're both from my new cookbook. So let's get Hashtag Cooking. First up, we're gonna make my avocado cream pasta, and then next, for dessert, because we always have to have it, my avocado brownies. And yes, I did say brownies. This avocado cream pasta is literally one of my most popular recipes on my blog, and I honestly think it's because you just need a blender to make this super luxurious sauce. I'm just gonna slice these tomatoes in half. You can totally leave them whole to roast them if you'd like, but I'm just gonna slice them so that we can get that nice caramelization around the edges. Now I'm just gonna arrange them onto my baking sheet. I've lined this with parchment paper. These rogue ones wanna be left behind, but they won't be. Now I'm just gonna drizzle with a little bit of olive oil and season with some salt and pepper and red pepper flakes. Olive oil, some red pepper flakes, little salt, and then some pepper. We don't want to roast these tomatoes for too long, only about 10 to 15 minutes. If you do roast them for too long, it will dry out those juices, and we definitely don't want that. We want a juicy tomato. Okay, looking pretty good. Now that my tomatoes are done, I'm just gonna leave them here to hang out while I prepare my pasta. All right, very important. Please promise me you won't forget to salt your pasta water, okay? Just promise me. I'm gonna salt it, and now I'm gonna add my pasta straight in there. And while this pasta is cooking, I bet that I can make the sauce in the time it takes for it to be done. All you need is a blender to make this super creamy sauce. So if you've ever made a smoothie and you have a blender at home, you can make this pasta sauce. So the base of it is our avocados. I'm using an avocado and a half for this recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that. Just slicing my avocados, making sure I also don't slice my finger in there. All right, we're gonna scoop some of this avocado out. Look at how ripe and pretty that is. Go straight in there. Gonna pit this. This avocado is what's gonna add that super creamy element to this pasta. Now I'm gonna move on to my lemon, adding the juice of 1 full lemon in here. Make sure I catch all the seeds. This lemon is gonna really make it tart and acidic and bring out that zing, make it very bright and fresh. I'm gonna add some fresh basil and raw garlic. Yes, I'm using raw. It's gonna be really punchy and really bright. And I love garlic. There we go. A little bit of olive oil. Just a bit. And now I'm gonna season it to taste with some salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes. Salt in there. Add as much chili flakes as you'd like. I love spice, so I'm going in with a lot. But you make your own choices, okay? Now, just to help everything get moving in the blender, we're gonna add a little bit of cold water. Make sure it's cold because we don't want to brown the avocado. Just a bit, and I can add more and adjust to get it to the right consistency that I like. Now, it's time to blend. Perfect. It is so luxe, you will not even believe it. Look at that. So creamy. Did you see that? I made that pasta sauce and my pasta is done. Super quick. We love a blender recipe. Now I'm just gonna spoon my pasta out. Before I add this creamy sauce to my pasta, I'm gonna grab one more thing. Just grab some arugula from the fridge. I love adding this to this pasta because it gives this really nice peppery bite to it. All right, time to assemble. Got my sauce, gonna add this into my pasta. You might think you put cream in this, but you didn't, I promise. I'm just gonna really stir that in. I'm gonna add my tomatoes. Just a little burst of something sweet in with this avocado cream sauce. Now I'm just gonna mix in my arugula. What's great about this pasta as well is that you can eat it immediately, but you can also refrigerate it to have as a pasta salad the next day. We love a leftover, we love a meal prep situation. This is both of these. All right, time for me to plate this for myself. Is that too much? There's never too much. What is a portion? I have my tomatoes that I reserved just for this moment. Place them on top, make it look really nice, a little pop of color. And now, some freshly ground black pepper and a pinch of flaky sea salt. And that is it. But one last thing, can't forget to take a photo. I didn't do all of this for nothing. I love this. I'm gonna frame this. I'm gonna put this on my wall. I think it's fair to say that it's time for me to eat. Okay, here I go. Gotta get some arugula, some pasta in there. Okay. I love myself. It's so creamy, you honestly would never know that there's no cream or butter in this. It's crazy.
Hi friends, do you want this simple and tasty recipe from Sama right at your fingertips? Just text food to 34318 and we will send it right to your phone.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
We are so used to thinking of using avocado in savory recipes, but plot twist, they're amazing in sweet recipes too, especially when chocolate is involved. And that is where my avocado brownies come in. I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and now I'm gonna prepare my pan. I love parchment paper, I live for parchment paper. I've already greased my pan here with some coconut oil, and now I've created a little strip of paper that I can just lay in to my pan. Stick it down because the coconut oil really helps it stick. And then I've created these nice little flaps which are gonna make it super easy to remove the brownies from the pan when they're done baking. I've got great news for you and for these brownies. Everything comes together in a blender. Like, you could make a smoothie, but don't. Make these brownies instead. All right. We're starting with my avocado, star of my show. I'm gonna slice this in half. Great way to use avocados when you're sick of the guacamole, when you're sick of all the savory things that you've been making with it. What's really nice about using an avocado in this brownie recipe is that it's super creamy and rich, so it actually serves as a really nice butter replacement, and you cannot even taste it. I promise. All right, avocado is in. Time for the rest of my ingredients. I'm using 2 eggs here. And 2. Crack that straight in there. And now I'm gonna add some creamy peanut butter. You can definitely use an almond butter if you'd like, but I love peanut butter. So we're starting with all of our wet ingredients first. Gonna sweeten this up with some maple syrup and some coconut sugar as well. And then a little bit of vanilla extract. So now I'm just gonna blend everything together here and then get to work on my dry ingredients later. I'm using an almond flour for this recipe because I think it's really nice and dense and cakey, which is gonna be really delicious with these brownies. Add my almond flour in there. Now, we're gonna use a cocoa powder. Make sure you get an unsweetened cocoa or a cacao powder. We want it to be really pure here with nothing added because we've already sweetened it with some coconut sugar and maple. Ooh. Now some baking soda. Isn't it so convenient? Like, just a blender and brownies are the result? Sign me up. A little bit of salt. This is gonna be really nice to bring out that sweetness and also balance out that chocolate. And now, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna blend. You may need to scrape down the sides of the blender to get it there, but just be patient with yourself and your blender. All right, we're looking really good. Now, I like a little bit of a sweeter brownie, so I'm gonna fold in some chocolate chips. You don't have to do this if you don't want, but if you like joy and happiness, I would highly recommend it. I'm gonna reserve a few chips on top before baking so we can just get that nice aesthetic before it goes into the oven. You know how I operate. I'm gonna fold this in. How easy was this? Can we take a moment to address how easy this is? And now all I'm gonna do is transfer it into my pan, which I prepared already. Look at that. You would never know there was an avocado in here. We put a whole fruit in these brownies, and you can't even taste it, I promise. I smooth the batter out in the pan. Make sure it's evenly distributed. That looks pretty good. And now, for my chocolate chips, gonna add them on top. Less is not more here. That's my philosophy when it comes to chocolate. Less is just not more. In fact, more is more. All right, so now we're ready for the oven. And they are done. You can tell that the brownies are done when they start to pull away from the sides of the pan a little bit and a knife inserted in the center comes out clean. I'm so excited about this. And again, I love parchment paper. This is so easy. I'm just gonna lift them straight out of the pan like this. Pretty good form, huh? I'm gonna slice these, big piece for myself. I'm gonna top it with some ice cream and peanut butter because I love myself and I deserve this. It's such a clean cut too. Who needs a gym, right? I need a bigger scoop. All right. And now I'm just gonna top it with a little peanut butter drizzle. I just melted this in the microwave for a little bit so it gets nice and melty and easier to drizzle. I think this looks perfect. Pretty good. Now, last step, just gonna top it with a little bit of flaky sea salt. Partially for taste, partially for aesthetics. I just have to take a picture of this. I need to document it. It looks too good not to. Okay. That little drip right there? Is that a joke? Okay. Now I need to try this. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna just leave. It's so crazy. There's no butter or oil in these brownies, but they taste so decadent and rich. Who gave me permission to do this? Avocado really came through today.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Lunch is sort of that lost meal in between breakfast and dinner where you don't really know what quite to do with yourself. So in order to make your lunch exciting, I'm gonna hashtag #EndSadDeskLunches and show you 2 of my favorites. First up, I'm gonna show you how to make some delicious spiced breaded cauliflower poppers and my favorite savory oatmeal with caramelized onions. To be honest, cauliflower is truly in everything these days. We see it in pizza, we see it in pasta, it's probably in ice cream, I don't want to know about it. But the best way to use cauliflower is in these cauliflower poppers because you know what? They can literally do it all. They're a great snack, a great appetizer, and a yummy lunch, especially when paired with a delicious salad. The key to the cauliflower poppers, it's in the almond meal. Make sure you're buying the one with the skin still on the almonds. I find this adheres a lot better to the cauliflower, making it really nice and crispy. I want this breading to be super flavorful on its own. I don't want it to just act as a sidekick, so I'm gonna add some spices. I'm gonna add my almond meal straight into my bowl. And then I'm adding my favorite spices, some cayenne, some cumin, and some turmeric. Finally, we're gonna add a little pinch of salt. Now, time to just whisk everything together. The turmeric's gonna give it a really nice color as well. It's gonna be really nice and yellow and pretty. It's gonna make this cauliflower glamorous. Make sure it's really well incorporated. All right, this looks really nice. Now I'm gonna whisk up some eggs. I'm using 2 eggs here. We need something for the breading to stick to, so that's why we're gonna make this little egg bath situation. Perfect. Whisk that up. Okay, this looks pretty good. And this is my favorite part, we get to assemble. So I have half a head of cauliflower cut up into florets, and now I get to just assemble. Using my tongs, my favorite kitchen tool. Gonna stick this straight into the eggs. Roll that around nicely. You want it to be fully coated. Let any of that excess egg just drip off. We want a nice even coating, so that's why we're doing this. And then it's gonna go straight into our almond meal mixture. Let the breading really coat the cauliflower well. We want it all over the cauliflower, into all of the little nooks and crannies. And now, just gonna transfer straight to our parchment lined pan. See how easy that was? That's crazy, that was so easy. We can all do this. And now I'm just gonna repeat with all of the other cauliflower florets. Make sure you're shaking that excess almond meal off as well. We want a nice, even coating. Pop that straight on the sheet. These are sort of like cauliflower wings. So if you're plant-based, if you're vegetarian, and even if you're not, it's kind of a fun and new way to get a veggie in your life. You can also totally use your hands for this. I'm being very neat and clean today. I don't want to crowd anyone on my pan here, so this is going to be my first batch. I am so excited for these to get into the oven. I'm going to bake them at 350 for about 30 minutes until they're nice and golden and crispy. Well, they're ready. Just FYI, I did flip them once halfway through baking so we can get that nice and even crispness on both sides. I really like to pair this with a variety of sauces. I like to have a sauce flight, a lot of choices here. You can really use whatever you like, whatever sauce suits your mood. It's also really great if you want to eat it solo. I mean, this is what I do at home, so I actually eat them straight off the pan. It's a fact. It just is this really gorgeous almond crusted exterior. Oh, it's so good. There is really nothing this cauliflower cannot do. I'll stand by that forever. Oh, I have to take a picture. I mean, come on. They're begging to be dipped and snacked on. I'm going in. So good. That masala on the breading, it's spicy, it's flavorful, and I'm like eating a vegetable. Like, what? You never know.
Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
When you think of oatmeal, you're probably thinking, wow, that's such a breakfast move. But I have to disagree because oats are actually the perfect base for anything savory and grounding and delicious. I'm gonna show you how to make my really hearty, savory turmeric oatmeal with caramelized onions, avocado, an egg, and peppery arugula. It is so good. So let's get started. The first thing I wanna do is caramelize my onions because that's gonna take the most amount of time. So I'm just gonna dice them up right now. If I cry, it's not because of the onions. It's because I'm really excited to make this, just so we're clear. I'm just gonna heat some olive oil in my pan and start on this caramelization. Adding some olive oil. Now that the oil is shimmering, I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions. More hot. Caramelizing the onions is going to create this really nice full-bodied flavor. It's also going to add a little sweetness. So oats themselves don't really have a lot of flavor. So by adding all of these different elements, we're really going to create our own flavor profile here. We're going to let these caramelize for about 15 to 20 minutes so it gets a really nice deep golden color, and then we're going to get to work on our oatmeal. What's really great about caramelized onions is that you can make them in a huge batch, freeze them, so you'll always have some on hand. I'm gonna let these hang out, get really delicious and caramelized, and I'm gonna go grab some of my greens. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. Can you even believe these onions? They look so good. They smell even better, if you can believe it. And now I'm just gonna upgrade them a bit with some of my favorite spices. I'm gonna add my cumin straight in here. And then my turmeric. And I really just want to toast the spices in with the caramelized onions so they become nice and fragrant, and any of that raw spice smell goes away. And finally, can't forget them, my salt and pepper. I'm gonna just roast these for a few minutes until they smell really fragrant and aromatic, and then we're gonna move on to my oats. Now it's time to cook my oats. I'm actually going to be using vegetable broth to cook them in. You can totally use water if you'd like, but I find that veggie broth makes it a lot more flavorful. I'm using rolled oats here, just by the way. Give it a little stir, bring it to a boil, and let the oats absorb all of that liquid. We're boiling. Make sure you stir the oats while you cook them. It's a really aggressive boil. The liquid is reducing, the oats are thickening up. I'm gonna reduce the heat. Now, because you have so many savory and grounding flavors here, I want something a bit fresh, a little peppery bite, and that is where my arugula comes in. I'm just gonna stir in a handful here. You can choose however much you wanna add. I like a lot of arugula, so I'm gonna kind of go for it. You just want it to wilt, and then we're gonna take it off the heat. Now it is time for my caramelized onions. You thought I forgot about them. How could I ever forget about them? Gonna add them straight into my oatmeal. Give that a nice stir so everyone becomes friends. Now I'm just gonna remove it from the heat and add all of my toppings. Okay, now I'm just gonna transfer my oatmeal to my bowl. Can't leave any oats behind, that'd be so rude. I mean, this color though. Gotta give some props to my turmeric, really making that magic happen. I'm adding a few things here. I like having a lot of textural elements here, so I'm gonna add some creamy avocado. It's gonna contrast those oats really nicely. I'm gonna add an egg, soft-boiled egg, and maybe some more greens. We'll see how I'm feeling. Just gonna slice my avocado. First, I wanna just take a moment. Okay. These are kind of fat slices. I will say I didn't intend to make them this like chunky, but you know what? I'm just lunching at home. This is real life. The avocado doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'm gonna add my egg. Using a soft-boiled egg here. I mean, do I need to say anything? I'm just not. I'm gonna let that speak for itself. Little salt. All right. Little pep. And finally, to finish it all off, some herbs. I'm using some cilantro here, but if cilantro freaks you out, you don't like it, I know it scares a lot of people, and that's okay. Like, that's totally fine. Use parsley, omit it, whatever you want to do. I'm not gonna judge you. This looks like a pretty fab lunch. She's stunning. You know who's gonna be jealous? Basically all of my friends. So I'm gonna have to send a picture to them, show them how cute my lunch is. Maybe it'll inspire them to make their own cute lunch. Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to taste it. I wanna make sure I get a little bit of everything, some of those oats, the onions, the avocado, the egg. I wanna congratulate us all because we can now say goodbye to sad desk lunches forever.
We're just so excited to get started here. Our next guest is an advocate, author, mother, and a former first daughter.
Chelsea Clinton is also now a podcast host. She talks with experts and takes a deep dive on public health issues for her podcast, In Fact with Chelsea Clinton. And Chelsea is here to talk to us all about it. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning, Dylan. Good morning, Chanel. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely. It feels like you wear a million hats or a bunch of hats at once, and now you're adding podcaster to the list. Tell us about it.
Well, I launched In Fact because, at least in my lifetime, we've never had so many people pay attention to public health because we've been living in a pandemic. And yet, I think that for so many people, there's this equation that public health equals COVID-19 or maybe equals infectious diseases. And I wanted to help broaden people's understanding of what public health is and why we should pay attention to public health even when we're not in a pandemic. So we talk about things like substance use disorders and addiction and the still terrible stigma around HIV status and how climate change is a public health issue and a lot of other things that I'm really excited to share with the audience.
In one episode, you refer to the phrase moral reframing, and you say it's so important to choose your words wisely with really how you explain something. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. So, when I spoke with Frank Luntz, with whom I candidly never would have expected to be in a conversation with, and he's a Republican pollster, strategist who has worked tirelessly, and I say as a progressive Democrat, unfortunately, at times from my perspective on successfully electing Republicans up and down the ballot. But he really cares about ensuring that every American has all the information that we need to make the choice to get vaccinated. And so we were talking about how do we situate vaccines and vaccinations out of politics and into language and context that we all share. Like, we all want what's best for our kids. We all want what's best for our grandparents. And so framing questions and conversations around vaccinations instead of kind of all the science, although it's important if you want to know the science that you're able to access all that information too, but situate the conversations in, like, how important is it that you're able to protect your grandparents?
I know. I think you're right. It's the humanity of it. And we have to be careful not to lose that piece. And then so for people who don't want to wear their masks, for example, we'll think about the children who can't wear masks.
Right.
On that note, I know you talked about when you had your vaccination or you got your first shot, you shed a few tears. I think a lot of us did. What was that moment like for you?
It was really emotional. Gosh, like I'm welling up even thinking about it. I volunteered starting in January every Saturday at the Armory mass vaccination site up in Washington Heights, which was one of the most moving and profound experiences of my life. I think I was there, like 17 Saturdays in a row with the just extraordinary team of vaccinators and volunteers from across the Columbia New York Presbyterian hospital system and working with EMTs and nurses and nurse practitioners who come from all over the country to help us vaccinate New Yorkers. And so it was already such a moving experience. And then to be vaccinated by one of the people that I was working with and to know that kind of this was my journey back to a new normal was just so many emotions colliding in me. And I definitely cried. And the nurse was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay. I'm not in pain. I just am so grateful."
Just so grateful.
They were like, okay. Like, do you need a minute? And I was like, "No, I'll get up so you can vaccinate the next patient.
Get to the next person.
I mean, so it wasn't just a few tears. It was like, a lot of tears.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that emotion. I want to switch gears and talk about your book series, your children's book series, She Persisted. And I love what you're doing. Every month this year, you're going to come out with a new book about an influential woman. So why was this so important for you to get that information out there for kids?
Well, when I was on the book tour for the first She Persisted picture book back in 2017, it was just so inspiring to meet so many young readers, girls and boys alike, who were hungry to learn more about these women. And so thankfully, I had the chance to turn the picture book series now into a chapter book series. Kind of this year, we have 13 coming out with the first 13 women in the She Persisted book. And thankfully, I can't say any more than this, but we have more chapter books in future years about other inspiring women. And so it just is really meaningful to me that kind of these women that have meant so much to me throughout my life now have kind of fully fleshed out chapter books written by an extraordinary group of women authors. And we've called ourselves the Persistenthood.
I love it. I love it. Well, speaking of children, really quickly, the pandemic allowed a lot of us to kind of push the pause button and spend time with each other. You have 3 little ones. Did Grandma and Grandpa, were you guys able to, kind of come together for a little bit?
Yes. So I'm so thankful to my parents. I mean, we potted with my parents, last summer, and my parents were huge helps with my kids. And it has been such a special experience to watch the intense bonding that's happened between all 3 of my kids. And
what do they call
my
their
parents?
Grandma, Grammy?
Grandma and Pop Pop.
Grandma and Pop Pop.
That's my dad's a Pop Pop.
Yep. Pop Pop.
Yeah.
Former Pop Pop president. Chelsea, thank you.
Pop,
yeah, exactly.
Lots of peas.
Exactly. Chelsea, you're a delight. Thank you so much for being here.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Talent and perseverance inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to ABG, Asian Boss Girl, a podcast for the modern-day Asian American woman.
Helen Wu, Melody Chang, and Janet Wang are the voices behind the Asian Boss Girl podcast. But they've quickly become a voice for a community they felt was in need of one.
YouTube and Instagram propagated a lot of Asian American people, but most of those women were either professional influencers or they worked in fashion, and we didn't see other people who worked in corporate jobs, which you know that is like the vast majority of the Asian American population.
It started out as a hobby, born over a few glasses of wine and girl talk, until the 3 women left their respective careers in finance, tech, and media, making the podcast their priority.
It's fun to just sit around as girls and drink wine and say, let's do a podcast. But then it gets real, right?
Yeah. We had to learn how to edit, how to market a brand. And so I think slowly we started figuring out like, oh, this is actually more work than we expected. Each of us individually were kind of going through personal career transitions. And then we just thought we have this project we're working on that's generating income. What if we went in full time?
Did any of you have those uh-oh moments?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think we were all very tactical about it. We built out spreadsheets. I built out spreadsheets. I'm the unofficial CFO of the company.
Yes, the pros and cons.
Yes, and of seeing like what's our cash runway? How long can we do this for? And I think that's necessary for anyone who's trying to pursue their passion project. The leap of faith is scary.
But leap they did, turning their side hustle into a full-time gig without a safety net. And then a global pandemic hit.
I think it was really like a blessing in disguise in some ways. I think for anyone career transitioning, I think it can be scary. If the world was functioning as it was and I was going to happy hour with people, I would be much more inclined to compare myself or like question if we were progressing in the right way. We were at home, it was easier to focus.
Around a kitchen table in downtown Los Angeles, they share uncensored and candid conversations from relationships.
You could call me naive, but I really wanted this one to work.
To social justice.
It makes no sense for a human being in America to feel scared to go on a jog or wear a hoodie or go bird watching or worry about getting shot in her own home by cops.
No topic off limits, but one of the most difficult and personal issues for the women has been the recent hate crimes against Asian Americans.
My grandpa would take walks in the afternoon after his dinner, and to think that maybe that could have happened to him really broke my heart. It's hard whenever we talk about it, but what I'm seeing is that there is this wave of support, not just within our community, but outside of our community as well. We want to guide our listener through that process of grieving, working through the trauma, and then figuring out, well, what can we do about it? And that's something that we're trying to do by, if we're not prevalent in main media, we're gonna make our own way of media.
Making their own way as they break barriers and shatter stereotypes. Now their sights are set on even bigger things.
So are you all plotting the Asian boss girl empire?
We're trying. We're gonna be the next, like, the Oprah for Asian people. We started as a podcast, and now we consider ourselves a multimedia company. I think we also want to continue building and fostering our community, a place for Asian women to feel like they can be supported and that they can support one another.
He's been making us laugh on Saturday nights for the past 2 years. SNL breakout sensation, Bowen Yang.
And he's had some of the most iconic moments of this past season. The man got to twerk on Dua Lipa. Need I say more?
Okay, you should say more because he also played that iceberg that sunk the Titanic.
Okay, that was one of the most epic ones.
It really was. Now he's leading a star-studded cast in a scripted podcast called Hot White Heist. Hi, Bowen.
Hi, Jenna. Hi, Justin. How's it going?
How are you doing?
So
I'm
happy you're
starstruck.
here. I know. Justin loves you.
By the exposed bread.
Bowen, okay, when I was on maternity leave, you came here and filled Hoda in on everything she'd missed, which was basically everything. You made us laugh. And then the next week, you got this amazing gig on Saturday Night Live.
Crazy.
How has your life changed since the last time you were on the show?
I mean, not too much because I feel like I'm still going into 30 Rock and I still got Hoda and Jenna on the brain. And I that was such a fun segment that we did. Like, what was it, 2 years ago now?
Yes.
That was so fun. Yeah.
Okay, and the Titanic.
Okay, we have to talk about the sketch where you played everyone's enemy, the iceberg that sunk the Titanic.
Yes.
How was that?
It was so fun. You know, I've always thought that that iceberg was very misunderstood and that iceberg was the victim of a boat attack and that the White Star Line has to atone for their crimes. No, it was so fun to... I mean, all I say now is that I can't believe that made it onto TV because the week that led up to that, we were just like, me and the co-writer, the head writer, Anna Dresden, were just like, this will never, ever make it onto TV, and somehow it did, and that white blazer is
iconic.
I studied for everyone to see.
It made it on TV, and then it trended everywhere. Like, everybody sent it to me, and have you seen this? It's hilarious. So you must have felt like, you know what? My writing has done something good.
Yeah.
Okay, this podcast sounds amazing and also like something I've never heard before.
Jane Lynch.
Sure.
Cynthia Nixon.
Yes.
Alan Cumming. I mean, come on.
MJ Rodriguez, Cheyenne Jackson, Abby Jacobson, so many people. I mean, it's an all-queer cast, and it's like not like anything I've ever done before, where it was the team behind it was just so wonderful and great, and it felt like such just a lovely, lovely, liberated time. And it's so funny. It's out June 17th. Everyone should listen to it on Audible.
I mean, this heist sounds pretty crazy.
But by the way...
Will you explain to people what's going on in this?
Yes.
And it's daytime TV.
Yeah, daytime TV.
It's daytime TV.
Yes, it's daytime TV, of course. I'm aware. It is, I play Judy Fink, who is a grifter in New York City in some ways. He runs this scam out of Washington Square Park where he reads tarot cards for unsuspecting tourists. But his aunt recruits him for a heist to steal a
genetic material.
Yes, genetic material
from our greatest from yes.
Legal went ahead and approved that.
Oh yeah, I was on that call for sure. So the genetic material for some of history's greatest minds, and it's so funny, it's so fun, clever. I can't say enough good things about it, and I get to say these things because I didn't write it. I didn't have any involvement in it, and so I get to really, really gas it up.
Okay, can we play a little game with you?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to play this game.
Okay, and can we have the graphic, please?
Oh.
The more you bow.
The more you bow. This is a game that we're going to throw out some rapid fire questions about the entertainment world, and you're going to give us your take. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, pop culture moment of the year so far.
Oprah saying who is having that conversation.
Ooh. Okay.
To Meghan Markle.
Who's the celebrity that got you through the quarantine?
Oh, I think it's a tie between Megan Thee Stallion and Leslie Jordan.
Oh, you and I are best friends. Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes. Okay. The
more you bow.
Every time we're going to get that.
Yes. I think we're doing it just for the graphic. Okay. Pop diva we should all be paying attention to.
Ooh, I would say Olivia Rodrigo, and Little Mix from the UK, and my niece Ellie. She is going to be big. She's 3 years old, but she's going to be big.
I like Kris Jenner. Just put your family up in there.
Let's go.
Uncle Jer.
Okay. Favorite award show moment of all time? It better be Britney with the snake.
Oh, I think it's a three-way tie. Britney with the snake, Beyonce showing off the baby bump, and Adele Dazeem. Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
Can you? I mean, honestly, you've got it. You know everything. Okay, finally, celebrity whose social media you cannot live without.
Okay, this is gonna have to be my SNL castmate, Michael Che. It's pure chaos.
It's amazing.
He's constantly deleting his posts, saying that he has announcing that he's a podcast when he doesn't, and never will. I mean, it's all over the place.
You have
Che
the best taste. You really do have the best taste.
The more you bow. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you. Cheers. We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air. This is amazing! Yes!
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It's always really cool when a daughter follows in her mom's footsteps, and that's especially true if your mama happens to be the very talented Leah Thompson. Over her 35-year career, Leah has added acting actress, producer, and director to her resume. And now her daughter Zoe, she's getting in on the fun, baby.
The dynamic duo is starring in a new Audible podcast called A Total Switch Show. They play a mother-daughter duo who switch bodies. Think Freaky Friday, but probably for adults.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear about this one. Hi, Leah. Hi, Zoe. How are you guys?
So good. It's so nice to see you guys.
First of all, y'all are super cute. We can't stop looking at you, so we may not be listening half the time. I hope you're okay with that. But so, Zoe, this was your project, right?
So, yeah, it was fun. Right at the beginning of the whole pandemic, when we thought maybe we'd never ever get to act again, we were like, what's going to happen? What can we do? We can't do anything else. I got to develop this fun idea with some friends of mine at Team Coco and Gavin Pallone, and we got to make this really darkly existential take on the well-known format. It follows a control freak mother and her disdainful daughter who waste no time completely ruining each other's lives and each other's bodies. So it's definitely not a sweet version of Freaky Friday. It's super funny. Characters are not based.
That was just our follow-up question. Are you sure there's not a little
of you?
My sister was one of the writers, so we would try to pick it. We were trying to figure out what she was pulling, and we were like, please say that this isn't. Please don't.
Not really us. This joke isn't really us.
Leah, you know, Zoe's been on the show before, and when we could have people in real life. And when she left, Hoda and I just marveled at how kind and lovely she was. And I feel like that in so many ways has to do with the way you raised her. What makes you most proud about your girls?
You know, it's their courage, because life is all about kind of getting up and marching forward when you have setbacks. And so Zoe has such great courage, and so does Maddie. And that's really impressive to me. And to be kind, I was always, if you're going to follow in my footsteps, you better be kind to the crew. You better be a good team player. That meant a lot to me. And every time I work, someone comes up to me and says, I worked with your kids and they are so amazing. They're so polite. They're so professional. And then my heart grows 3 sizes.
And Leah, this is a tough business. I mean, there are like a lot of dings. You have to have a thick skin. I mean, it must be from your seat when you're watching your daughter kind of venturing off down this path. You know what that feels like? How do you handle that?
It's really hard to have gone through so many ups and downs and then watch your kids go through the same thing. So sometimes that's really hard, but I just try to take a deep breath and say, they have their own path and they're handling things in ways I wouldn't, and teaching me along the way. That's an interesting thing about kids. They teach you things. So it's, life is, for any profession, it's all about ups and downs, right, honey?
She's probably just like, what is wrong with me that I wanted to do this job after growing up? I love it, but I mean, I was sure about how crazy it was. I knew going into it for sure.
Yeah, well, because their dad's a director as well, so that's a lot of ups and downs that they've seen from both sides. It's stereo ups and downs.
Zoe, I heard that family dinners were a must in your house, and that we weren't ordering pizza.
No.
Or if we were stopping at Domino's to pick it up.
Yeah, I feel so bad when I Postmates or Uber Eats something. I feel like I'm really doing something illegal because we never did that growing up, ever. It was always, which is awesome, and it's where my love of food and breaking bread together comes from, and that the experience of sharing a meal together is everything. But when I do order in, when I sneakily don't cook or whatever, I'm like, don't tell my mom. Don't tell my mom.
Okay,
well,
we're going to let you go, but quickly before, if you could switch bodies with anybody, who would it be?
My dog! Gwen Stefani! Hey, bud!
You guys are great.
Thank you for having us on.
Oh, we think y'all are terrific. Please listen to it on Audible. And Leah, happy early birthday, girl. What are you doing to celebrate this milestone?
My children are throwing me a party, and even though I know about it, there's lots of surprises apparently.
All right, post a couple of pictures for us, Zoe, okay, so we can see. All right, happy birthday early. Again, you can catch that podcast. It's available on Audible exclusively.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Barbara Corcoran was 23 when she quit her waitress job, borrowed $1,000, and started a tiny real estate company. Over the next 25 years, it grew into a $5 billion business.
Many of you guys know Barbara best as one of the sharks on ABC's Shark Tank, but lately she's been doling out her straight talk as the host of the very popular podcast Business Unusual with Barbara Corcoran, and she's even handed out free advice from a phone booth in New York's Union Square.
Okay, she liked it so much, she'll be heading back in to the Better Call Barbara phone booth to answer your questions right here. Hey, Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
Jen and Hoda, nice to see you both.
It's great to see you, hon. I think a lot of people do look at you, Barbara, and think, boy, I bet you she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. She's got this huge business. And you don't really, people don't know about the struggle to get there. What was the toughest part of your climb?
I think when my boyfriend left me, who was my business partner, married my secretary, and as he went out the door, he said, "You'll never succeed without me." And he gave me an insurance for success. I thought I'd rather kill than let him see me not succeed. You know, I just got that fire in my belly, the power of an insult.
Oh my gosh. And is it true that you had 20 jobs before starting this company on your own?
Yes, we have to realize I'm one of 10 children. We lived hand to mouth as a family. So we all worked from the time we were 11. You could accumulate a lot of jobs by the time you're 21 if you've been working from a very, very young age, of course.
When you say it was hand to mouth, what do you mean exactly?
So I'm probably using the wrong expression. We had clothes on our back. We had enough to eat. And my dad worked 2 jobs, and my mother killed herself for her 10 kids. So she always seemed to make it through, you know. But I grew up, thank God, with a burning desire to do something back for my family. And probably my happiest day of my whole life was when I had my first profit and I bought my mom and dad each a new car.
Oh,
they never had a new car, and I had to deliver to Parton with bows on the top.
How cool are you?
Awesome.
So, Barbara, you give great advice. We know people come to you all the time. So let's go to our Better Call Barbara, and let's put you in your cool phone booth, and we're going to answer questions just like you did in New York. And here's our first one, Barbara. Okay. It comes from Nini.
Barbara, this is Nini from Columbus, Ohio. It's time to update all 3 of our bathrooms in our home. Should we move ahead now or wait until building costs level out?
Well, bad news, Mimi. Building costs are not going to be coming back down. So if you're going to go ahead, you might as well go now before prices get more expensive. But a full bathroom remodel always gets you about 60% of your money back when it comes time to sell. So bear that in mind. But if you don't want to spend the money on new bathrooms now, the 3 best bangs for your buck are regrouting the tile, recaulking the tub, and buying a new sink. And that's what you should focus your money on.
That is such good advice. Okay, Kylie has a job hunting question she's going to call in.
Barbara, my name is Kylie. I'm calling from Madison, Wisconsin, as I am currently hunting for a new job. How can I get in front of these desirable companies that I don't have an in at, let alone experience in those specific industries I'm interested in?
Kylie, first off, I have to say you have to pick up your energy and be wildly enthusiastic or you're not going to get what you want. You should start by scanning every job board out there every day. There are 8 million jobs posted there, and they change by about 10% of them every single day. So you have to stay on it every day to see what's out there. Next, you have to make sure in your resume you use the keywords that are in the actual job description, because the whole world runs with algorithms today, and your resume won't even be picked up if you don't mimic the words that are in the job description. Next, you don't want to use a generic subject line. I see these applications all the time. Regarding job application. Oh, really? It's better to ask a question. And I gave a guy an interview last week, and I didn't even have a job. But I love this guy. He wrote, "Hey, is it me you're looking for?" in the subject line. I love this guy. Okay. And last, try to get your resume in front of a real human being, a real live person at a company who can make an introduction for you. If you can land it, will give your chances of getting the job like 4 to 1.
Awesome. Barbara, thank you. You always give really good advice.
Yeah, we need more of it.
Yeah, you'll be in New York doing your thing at the phone booth, and the rest of us, we can find you on Business Unusual, wherever you get your podcast.
I'm lifestyle expert Jen Fallick, and I love trying out the best versions of everyday items and elevated essentials, bringing you a curated list of better basics.
I'm Shop Today editorial director Adriana Brock, and I'm bringing you industry insiders and those in the know to share all the buzzworthy products sweeping social media and influencer trends.
And I'm fashion and beauty editor Chassie Post, and I know trends. Each week, I'm here with must-have fashion and beauty products at a price you'll love in Style Finder. This is Shop All Day Summer Essentials.
Hey everyone, welcome to Shop All Day. I'm Jen Fallick, here to show you some useful products that will definitely make a splash and upgrade your summer, from barbecues to the beach. And see the QR code at the bottom of your screen? You can use the camera on your smartphone to scan it for instant access to the products on the show today. So let's get to it. I've got some essential items that will definitely elevate your fun this summer, starting with this patio umbrella light. So this light, first I love because it is so easy to set up. You need no tools, nothing. All you need is an umbrella on a pole. Open it up, unclamps, clamp it right around the umbrella pole, or you can even use it on a lamp, anything that has something that this can affix around. It's also adjustable. And to set the mood, you've got 3 lighting options. So you can go dim, you can go a little bit brighter, or you can go ultra bright. So 3 options, no tools to install, so easy. And what's great about this is if you have an outdoor dining table where you don't have outdoor lighting, now you can have late night dinners, late night game nights. I know my family loves to do family game nights in the summer. Once it gets dark, we tend to have to go inside, but with this, you can stay out as late as you want. And again, the adjustable feature is huge. Sometimes you want a little ambiance, sometimes you just want to be able to see everything you need to see. If you're cooking outside too, this is huge. I'm a big fan of this. But one thing that can ruin outdoor fun is the bugs. Bugs can make me crazy this time of year, so having a great bug zapper on hand is crucial. And this is my favorite one. So what we've got over here, this zapper is amazing because you can place it on the ground. It has a flat bottom. You can hang it indoors or outdoors. Super safe to use. It uses a hyacinthine light. It attracts the mosquitoes in there and zaps them. Has cage around the sides so that you don't have to worry if you've got kids or pets. You don't have to worry about any fingers getting in there. It will only zap when the mosquito or the insect actually touches the light. Easy to clean too. It has a little drawer that you can take out, clean it that way, and it comes with a little brush so you can get all the details. And again, this is going to keep you covered bug-free all summer. Everything outside is so much more enjoyable when you're not going like this every 2 seconds. So now that we've taken the mosquitoes away, you can enjoy a great dip in the pool and then dry off with this. This is like a Better Basic OG. I love this towel. This takes your basic everyday beach towel up like 50 notches. These are from Dock and Bay. And what's amazing about these towels, besides the fact that they are the brightest, most fun colors, I just love them even as decor, they're super absorbent, they are super soft, and they dry so fast. They come in their own little carrying pouch. They're ready to go. Lightweight, great to pack for a day at the beach. And they're giant. And these beach towels are bigger than your average beach towel. Take one of these, lay it out at the beach. First of all, everyone can find you. Second of all, when you leave for the day and you pack this up, you're not bringing the sand home from the beach with you. These towels are such a cult favorite. People, once they use them, are obsessed. I am one of those people. Again, fun colors, lightweight, quick dry, super absorbent, and so cozy. Then your next beach essential is a great beach tent. I gotta tell you, I used to be so scared of beach tents. They seemed really daunting to me. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to set it up. This, again, is a kind of Better Basics OG that I've been loving for a while. I first tested this out with 2 little kids in tow by myself at the beach near my house, and I was able to set this thing up alone. Before I got there, I was sweating. I was like, am I gonna be able to do this? But it really is that easy to set up. You can do it completely by yourself. It takes minutes. And I love that it has a floor on the bottom too, so it keeps the sand out, protects you from the sun. It's UPF 50. The fiberglass frame is really great and sturdy. And again, it's all about the simplicity. The fact it's easy to set up and it's spacious inside keeps you protected from the sun, keeps you nice and cool, and again, keeps you sane. While you are enjoying some fun in the sun, everyone likes to have a cold beverage on hand, and this is the must-have to keep your beverages cool and tasty. This is the Hopsulator Slim Double-Walled Stainless Steel Insulated Can Cooler. Not only are these super fun colors, I'm obsessed with the pink one, of course, these are gonna keep any slim 12-ounce can nice and cool for up to 20 hours. So easy to use too. You just literally put your can in there, lock this on top. It keeps it cool, sweat-free, so you're not leaving stains on countertops, and it's not gonna water down your beverage. Plus, it just looks really sleek. So again, any 12-ounce slim can fit in here, keeps it cool, keeps it from sweating all over countertops, looks great, and doesn't water down your beverage. I love these. I feel like all the fun colors to choose from too. It's kind of a subtle way to enjoy a midday cocktail at the beach. And lastly, now you've got your cool drinks, you've got your sun protection, you wanna go for a nice float in the pool. This is a 2-in-1 Better Basic float that you are never gonna wanna sit in anything else. Not only is this super cozy and it has a cooling mesh fabric on it, but it reclines to 2 positions. So you can sit up, you can lounge back. It has a cup holder over here, but it also has an attachable little accessory holder on the side. You can put drinks in there, you can put your phone in there. It floats right alongside with you. You have the option of putting it on the left, on the right, which is actually sounds like a small detail, but if you're a lefty or a righty, that's a big deal to have that option. And it's very sturdy. Lay on this, float the afternoon away with your cold beverage, stay out late with your patio umbrella light. You are living the summer of your life. Let's go through these products one more time, and you can use the QR code to get instant access to these items. We've got the patio umbrella light, mosquito zapper, Dock and Bay quick drying beach towel, Pacific Breeze Easy Setup Beach Tent, Hopsulator Double-Walled Stainless Steel Insulated Can Cooler, and 2-in-1 Tanner and Recliner Pool Float. And just so you know, Today works with affiliate partners and earns a commission on purchases made through our links at today.com. So that's it for Better Basics. Up next, Adriana Brock is bringing it into the kitchen and chatting summer entertaining. Stay with us.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Meaning to the expression, rise and shine.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Adriana Brock, Shop Today editorial director, and this is Influencer Trends, where I'll be talking to industry insiders, celebrity trendsetters, and influencers in the know. They'll share their favorite products to shop for right now. And today, we're spicing it up in the kitchen with food and lifestyle expert Alejandra Ramos. And don't forget the QR code at the bottom of your screen. Just use the camera on your smartphone to scan it and shop these products right now. Hey, Alejandra, how are you?
Hi there, how are you? Welcome to my kitchen.
It's beautiful. It's so great to see you. So right off the bat, I see all these beautiful, bright colors, sort of like your Instagram page. It's really just screams summer. Talk to me a little bit about your favorite easy summer recipes that you're going to right now.
Absolutely, yes. Well, like you said, I'm all about color. I'm all about color all year long, but especially during summer when the produce is so gorgeous, so many fresh vegetables and fruit, and there's really very little that you have to do to get amazing dishes. So I'm going to share a couple things that I'm loving right now, just some easy kind of dips, my one go-to snack, and some cocktails, because you can't have a party without cocktails, right?
I love it. Yes, absolutely. So one of the latest recipes that you shared on today.com was for Mcgraw, which I loved.
Yes.
I grew up with it. Talk to me about how your Latin heritage has influenced your cooking and all of your great recipes.
Absolutely, yes. Well, my family's Puerto Rican. I was born and raised in New York and New Jersey, but we were always very much back and forth between Puerto Rico and here. We ate a lot of Puerto Rican food, plus we ate a lot of Latin American food in general, just because Latinos tend to find each other and stick together, and there's a lot of recipes and things that we share. And I think for me, kind of like I said, it's a lot about color, it's a lot about bold flavors, and those things always sort of inform everything that I make, even when it's not necessarily a Latin dish. It still seems to have those elements of lots of spices and lots of color, and I love to marinate things. I love fresh lime juice and cilantro and all those kinds of ingredients.
Sounds delicious. Do you have a favorite family recipe or a go-to summer snack that you just love right now?
One of my favorite kind of summer snacks that I've been doing lately is just kind of easy dips and salads. So one thing that I'm always making is these sort of cucumbers. Last year I started gardening for the first time. I was growing cucumbers, and I would just use these quick kind of easy sliced cucumbers, and then I'd spice them up with a little bit of garlic, a little bit of oregano, olive oil, and just, seriously, so simple. It's just something really fresh and light. Again, summertime, you don't have to do much to it because everything's already so great to begin with.
Yeah, so the thing about summer, and I feel like with entertaining, it's all about throwing together a salad or a veggie platter. And you said you had some tools that you also swear by to make it so much easier. Talk to me about those.
Well, okay, so again, summertime, I just don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. I don't want to be hot, and I just want to have fun with my friends, and I want to enjoy the outside. So a few of my favorite things are this really easy Hamilton Beach chopper that I use to make easy dips and salsas. I have the big food processor, right? I've got all the big kitchen gadgets, but when I'm entertaining or when I just want a quick snack, I love this little guy. It holds about 3 cups, and you can toss anything in there. I'll show you how easy it is to make just a quick salsa. These are just some tomatoes I sliced up, added right in there. You can chop up maybe an onion and chop that in there, a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, and you can kind of have fun, right? Chilies if you want garlic, whatever you like. A little lime juice is always a good thing. And then look how easy this is to use. You pop the lid on, hit that button, and in just a few seconds, you have a really simple little salsa that you can use.
Yeah, that's so easy, especially when you have people in the house, people over, and you're hosting. There's another tool you swear by. It's for prepping all those veggies.
This is my baby. So the OXO handheld mandolin. Seriously, this has been one of my favorites. When I got married, I got the super fancy $300 mandolin as a gift that I never used because it was way too complicated. But then I found this guy, and look how quick it is. I use this for making quick cucumber salads. Just like that, I can go through a whole cucumber in seconds. Make myself a beautiful fresh cucumber salad. I also use this for garnishing cocktails. I use it for slicing onions. You could do the onions in there too if you want. It just runs right through. It has this little dial so you can adjust the thickness really easily. And there's also a hand guard so you can protect your fingers and keep everything safe because we want to stay safe during the summer.
Oh yeah, that's what this guy is, right?
Yes.
With the spikes.
Yes, exactly. And that will actually hold it in place, the veggies. I tend to go wild and do it, without it, but it'll hold the veggie in place. Your fingers never have to get near the blade.
That's perfect. Okay, and no summer entertaining is complete without a cocktail. Is there a cocktail you're loving right now? And I know you also have a tool that's gonna help keep those nice and cold.
Yes, well, I'm a rum girl. I love rum. So one of my favorite go-tos is really simple. It's really just coconut water and rum, which kind of makes me feel like I'm on an instant vacation on the beach, drinking out of like a coco bien frio is what we say in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So it's so good, but it's just bottled coconut water and rum. And then I add ice cubes to it. But I don't like my drinks getting watered down, right? That's no fun. So I use these large silicone molds, and they're really great because they make these really big ice cubes that, because of that larger surface area, they take longer to melt. So you can enjoy the whole drink without the cube melting. So it's really great. It works for smaller cocktails too. This is just a little mango seltzer, so you can have yourself a mocktail, whatever it is. Everybody can enjoy.
That's perfect. Everyone in the family can enjoy a nice icy beverage. I'm loving your kitchen setup. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today and share all of your summer entertaining tips in the kitchen. I feel like I learned a ton and I can't wait to try out these products.
Yay, thank you so much. It's so much fun hanging out with you guys. I hope that you get inspired.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Alejandra.
Take care. Have a tasty summer.
You too. And moving on to some trending products, I'm talking Shop Today editor picks and social media summer stars. First up, we have this brilliant watermelon windmill cutter and slicer that Shop Today editors actually discovered on TikTok. It is perfect for making summer entertainment party prep a total breeze. This cool little windmill slicer does all the work for you and cuts perfect cubes of watermelon for an easy fruit platter that all your guests can enjoy. It just takes a few seconds. You can even pick the size of the cube that you want, and cleanup is a breeze. It's mess-free and so easy. We also have the Dash Mini Pint Electric Ice Cream Maker. This is a fun bestseller for the whole family because this little gadget is gonna help you make delicious and healthy ice cream right at home. It weighs less than a pound and it's just $19.99. All you have to do is load it up with your favorite ingredients. You can go dairy-free, keto, whatever you love, and you push a button to get a homemade treat to keep you cool all summer long. All right, and let's run through the products one more time. If you saw anything here that you're interested in purchasing, simply text SHOP to the number below to shop all the products we shared on today's show. We've got the OXO adjustable handheld mandolin slicer, Hamilton Beach stack and press food chopper, the large silicone ice cube tray, the watermelon windmill slicer and cutter, and the Dash My Pint electric ice cream maker. And just so you know, Today works with affiliate partners and earns a commission on purchases made through our links at today.com. And up next, Chassis Post is bringing you summer style essentials. Stay tuned.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you. Cheers. We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, welcome back to Shop All Day. I'm Chassie Post, Yahoo contributing editor, and I'm so excited to show you what I call summer superlatives, those items in your closet that you will end up wearing every day. And see the QR code at the bottom of your screen? You can use the camera on your smartphone to scan it for instant access to the products on the show today. Or you can simply text SHOP to the number below for all the products we're sharing with you today. So let's get started with summer style essentials that are majorly on trend. And if you recognize items you may already have in your closet, that's okay. We'll also show you ways to freshen up the look, starting with this fabulous, super comfortable t-shirt dress. And guys, I have to tell you, it is like wearing your favorite t-shirt, but in dress form, and who doesn't love that? And I've got to say, yes, things are comfortable, we love that, but comfort is actually a big trend. We're seeing lots of designers put forth, clothes that we're gonna wanna wear because they know, during the pandemic, we've only been in yoga shorts, so they're not gonna push us too far. But what I really love about this little t-shirt dress is that it is just dreamy feeling the fabric. I mean, it is really one of those fabrics that it's loose, it feels really nice on the skin, and the silhouette is exactly what you want to wear on a hot summer day. It's got a great swing silhouette, so it's not going to be too tight. So you'll feel cool as you're walking down the street, running around, doing errands. Really, this dress will take you anywhere. And key, it's got pockets, which I've got to tell you I love. And it comes in 30 different colors and patterns. I mean, check out this little batik stripe. How cute is that? And this is sort of one of the boho trends that we're seeing so much of out there. But they've also got great solids and prints, so you are gonna love this. Next up, we've got a wardrobe staple that absolutely never goes out of style, and that is the denim jacket. And I think of the denim jacket really is like a foundation piece. It's actually one of the #1 foundation pieces of a wardrobe. And why? Well, yes, it goes with every single thing in your closet, that is true. But what I love the most about it is it adds this sort of effortless, cool vibe to anything you pair it with. So, you can throw it on with leggings, you suddenly look cool, but you can throw it on with a sundress and you look cool. But you can also throw it on with a cocktail dress and look totally cool. So I love that. And this Madewell denim jacket is an all-star. I mean, people love it so much. It's a bestseller. And here's why I think people love it. #1, the cut. I mean, it is really slimming and flattering. It's a slim cut, but it's not too tight. And it sits at a really good place on the hip. It's 23 inches long. #2, okay, look at this wash. It is this gorgeous medium blue that has this great fading. It's almost like somebody's worn it for 2 years for you to break it in and make it feel so soft and great and look, sort of like a vintage piece. And #3, the quality. I mean, this is 100% cotton denim. So this is a real star. And it's a little bit pricier, but I look at this piece as an investment piece because, I mean, as we know, it goes with everything in your closet, but also this is going to last you forever. Buy it once, that's all you need. So next we have a trend that is huge And I've got to tell you guys, it's a trend that's easy to wear, and that is the bike short. We have seen, celebrities all over wearing the bike short trend, and not just to the gym. And what I really love about the bike short is, I call it sort of a modern classic, or really, I like to call it the modernizer, because what it does is it takes pieces that you've had in your closet for years, and it updates them and brings them into the now. It makes them look on trend. So for example, that light jacket that you bought last summer, you pair it with the tank and the bike short, and suddenly you look like a fashionista walking down the street. And another fun way that I love to wear the bike short in sort of that new style is wearing with the great oversized button-down shirt. You wear the bike short, you wear the sandals, and it's fabulous. And of course, you can always wear your bike short as you're lounging, with your favorite hoodie. But the key is, this is comfortable, and it's something everybody can wear. And I love these from Old Navy. They're 9 inches long, so they're a little bit longer. They give you a little bit more coverage, which I think is key. And they come in 6 colors, and I'm really loving these sort of very sophisticated, sort of the new neutrals, sort of the soft pinks and the nudes and the browns. So these little bike shorts are a great new trend to try. And the price, why not try it, right? You can always wear them to the gym if you don't like wearing them the new way. All right, so now we've talked about the clothes. Let's talk about some shoes. And what is summer without an amazing sandal? And here we've got a great one from Steve Madden. It's got about 4 trends in one. So this little sandal, it's got that gladiator style, the super strappy style that we're seeing absolutely everywhere. But it's also got these fabulous embellished studs, which gives a little punk rock sort of edge to your outfit. And I have to say too, that these little embellished studs look a lot like a huge designer that will set you back hundreds or thousands. So I love getting in on a trend, high fashion at low prices, right? And what else is so great about these is we've got the clear plastic trend, which is so flattering actually on a sandal, especially when you have a strappy sandal, because, your eye sort of sees through. And so it looks like, you just have these great little studs wrapping up your leg. So it's super flattering. And also the other trend, the jellies. How fun is that? So love this sandal. So now let's talk accessories. And the statement earring is a favorite of mine. I have to say, it's the easiest and most affordable way to jazz up an outfit, but I also have to tell you that it's an instant outfit maker, whether it is, jeans and t-shirt or a fancy dress. And one of my favorite things to do is just throw on a t-shirt and shorts, put on my statement earrings, and go to the grocery store. It just makes me happy. And at this price, my goodness, right? Happiness is coming quite affordably. But this little earring actually does boast 2 trends in one, and that is the beading trend, which you're gonna see absolutely everywhere in accessories this season. It's also got that tassel trend, which I'm so happy designers are still putting forward, because I love a tassel. And these come in 11 different colors. Now, last but not least, to round out our fabulous style statement this summer, you need a great bag. And how fabulous is this little bamboo bag. Now, it's really, really cute, right? I love the little bamboo peekaboo, but it was also an it bag, guys. It was internet famous. This bag was absolutely everywhere, and it was made by, a big designer. And again, this is a very similar style, and we're getting the look for a whole lot less. And actually, this little bag, I feel so perfect for summer, but it was inspired by a Japanese picnic basket. So this is really fun, to run around with this summer. And I love that you can sort of see through it, but you won't see your stuff. It's kind of peekaboo, which is another trend that we're seeing a lot of this summer. So a really cute idea too, if you wanna, jazz it up, you can tie a little bandana or tie a scarf around it, and you are set for summer. You got your summer uniform all right here. In fact, you could wear it all together. Let's run through all the products one more time. And if you saw anything here that you're interested in purchasing, simply text SHOP to the number below to shop all the products we shared on today's show. So we've got the casual summer t-shirt dress, the Madewell jean jacket, Old Navy bike shorts, Steve Madden women's travel flat sandal, beaded tassel earrings, and the woven bamboo handbag. And just so you know, Today works with affiliate partners and earns a commission on purchases made through our links at today.com. And that's a wrap for Style Finder and for our show. We hope you had fun with us. Tune in next Thursday for another episode of Shop All Day. See you next time.
A big idea finally come to light.
How does this feel? I mean, just a year ago, this was all just a dream.
Yeah, it's very surreal that, this is mine.
This is your corn.
Yeah.
Here on 39 acres of land in St. Helena, South Carolina, Chef Adrian Lipscomb is creating a sanctuary for Black farmers.
The Welcoming Center is over there.
Where they can grow their own produce and learn about the history of an industry that currently is less than 2% Black.
We were cooking as slaves, as the cooks in these kitchens. We want to recreate those kitchens. We want to celebrate, but also explain to others and to the public. We want the community to come to this land. We want them to be able to come celebrate on this land.
Opening up a new world of possibility that all started with a mystery check in the mail for $100.
So you did not know personally the person who put this check in the mail to you?
No. Didn't know this person.
Her project is called 40 Acres and a Mule, a reference to the short-lived attempt at reparations that gave former slaves land after the Civil War, only to be rescinded after Lincoln's assassination.
It started with the Special Field Order number 15 by General Sherman to give 40 acres and a mule to the slaves that were released from the Civil War that were following him. And the question he asked is, what do you want? And one of them stood up and said, land.
How does Juneteenth and the significance of Juneteenth for you connect to this project?
Juneteenth has always been celebrated with me and my family. 1865 is just a significant year. You already have freed slaves in January of 1865, but you still don't have the free slaves of Texas, not until June 18th of 1865. By the next day, they're celebrating, and they're saying, we are free, we can celebrate. And what is so interesting is that slaves weren't allowed to be in big groups. So a lot of those leaders came together and they bought land where they would go and celebrate Juneteenth. And food was a huge portion of this.
The celebration of freedom.
The celebration of freedom, you're right.
Which is why Lipscomb, a mother of 4 who owns Uptown Cafe and Bakery in La Crosse, Wisconsin, decided to start her project here in South Carolina.
A lot of history right there.
A land
slaves were here.
Slaves were here.
With deep roots and African ancestry.
Land is huge. Land brings identity, land brings community, land brings freedom. It allows us to navigate in this world, to create our history, to respect our history, but also bring forth our future.
Lipscomb was able to raise more than $150,000 in less than a year through a GoFundMe page and with the support of celebrity chefs like Mashama Bailey and David Thomas.
As an African-American chef, I am really interested in reclaiming the narrative where the food of this country started.
Together, they're fixing up something special ahead of this Juneteenth, celebrating on their land in the best way they know how.
Some of the best chefs in America around this table.
Helping one entrepreneur fulfill a promise from generations ago.
Bless the hands that made this food.
For generations to come.
Amen. I see.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Food, in a way, unlocks a lot of stories.
It's this emotional connection that we get through eating that food that is really irreplaceable.
My name is Chitra Agarwal. I'm a co-founder at Brooklyn Deli, where we make sauces and condiments inspired by my family's recipes from India.
My name is Katevi, and I'm the chef and owner of Dumpling Club, a weekly subscription service that features a rotating menu of dumplings and Asian dishes.
I started Brooklyn Deli in 2014. Our first products at Brooklyn Deli were my achars, which are a staple Indian condiment. They're kind of like this spicy, sour, a little bit sweet. So you add just a little bit and it kind of just makes the dish like amazing. I developed a lot of the recipes for achar using what I was getting in my farm share. So I was making achar from heirloom tomatoes, garlic, gooseberries. I wouldn't say that it's authentic Indian food. It's very much inspired by my heritage, but it's authentic to me.
My grandfather comes from a region in northern China that specializes in dumplings. And to him, dumplings were the perfect food, the best food. I use all sorts of influences in the dumplings. For example, influences from my husband's Austrian side. That's not traditionally how dumplings would be made. I'm learning to be really comfortable with that. In the beginning, I felt like that wasn't truly authentic. But I actually now feel that that's very authentic to me and my experience.
A labor of love learned from generations before them.
The pleating sort of represents on the outside the amount of care that's been put into this food. Whenever we made them as a family, seeing the pleats that my mom or that my grandfather added to the dumplings would remind me that they were the ones who prepared this food for me.
My father's mother, we were just very close. I can still remember the food that she would give me. I can still taste it. They're kind of like food memories from when I was really young, and those continued on as I visited her every year in India. Every trip, we would be in the kitchen.
Growing up, we didn't have regular access to Asian grocery, but I learned about the importance of food from my mom. She would use spaghetti whenever she was making stir-fried noodles. Her creativity, that creative spirit that she had when it came to replicating her home food through whatever ingredients that she had on hand, that's what I feel really inspired by.
Both women left stable jobs for their culinary careers.
It was a really scary time because, I had been working for over a decade in positions where I had benefits, I had an ongoing salary that I could count on.
I left Google in the fall of 2019, and already that year I was starting to make dumplings, send them around to friends and family, and when I decided to really start in earnest was in February 2020, conveniently 1 month before the pandemic hit and everything shut down. I didn't have a steady job or an income at that time, and whenever I had a spare moment, I'd fold dumplings, and then I would stay up all hours editing footage and putting it up on Instagram, and we were just trying to survive.
Despite the pandemic, their businesses not only survived, but thrived.
Our public sales tend to sell out within a few minutes. One time it sold out in less than a minute.
For us, it's been great because more people want to try the flavors that we're putting out there and want to learn more about Indian food and culture. Everything that I really learned how to make, I learned from different family members. So I feel like, in some sense, the Brooklyn Deli recipes also are a way for our family recipes to kind of live on.
When my parents came to the States, they really came here with nothing. And I'm super cognizant of that now, that it's a huge privilege to be able to do what I love, to go after what I love. And that has come from years of sacrifice and hard work from my parents. And knowing that, I want to take that privilege and make sure that I do something really positive with it.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey, reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
To the expression, rise and shine.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
If there was one thing that I wanted people to take away from our work, it is that Black people, Black histories and stories are important, and they are ubiquitous. They are everywhere. Whether we're discussing politics, if we're talking about arts and culture, Americana, we are Americana. I just think it's really, really important that Black people are centered in conversations about where we are in this moment and where this country is and where we have been. My name is Kiana Stewart, and I'm the co-founder of Black Market Vintage. And my name is Jenna Handy, and I'm co-founder of Black Market Vintage.
Black Market Vintage is a Brooklyn, New York-based antique concept shop. The owners travel, collect, and sell items that represent the richness of Black history.
We're both from Brooklyn, and we grew up 600 feet from one another and did not meet until we were adults, which is wild.
In terms of how we grew up, I think just a typical Brooklyn, childhood of going to the corner store, playing double dutch outside.
So we met at Rutgers University. I don't necessarily know that there was a moment that we knew that we were supposed to be more than friends. I was really intrigued by Jana when I first met her, and it felt like I had known her, a lifetime.
There was a twinkle in her eye that almost I understood what it meant, like. And so there was something that we were able to see beyond where we were to see kind of where we could end up.
So I grew up going to vintage shops, thrift stores, stopping on the side of the road, you name it. My mom was stopping the car and bringing stuff into the car to bring home.
In these shops, Kiana and her mother rarely saw people that looked like them or items that represented their history.
So going into antique shops and we are the only Black people in the spaces. There's no Black art on the walls. There's barely any Black literature.
Over time, Jana joined Kiana on the quest to fill this void. They began traveling the country, collecting Black art, Black music, Black literature, civil rights memorabilia. And then in 2014, started selling it from their stoop and at flea markets.
When we first started out, it was 100% a hobby. And, weekend markets, getting up, setting up as vendors. And we really didn't see that there was a need to shift until the community kind of told us that.
Demand for their products and interest in the history behind the items was so great, the next step was creating a consistent presence.
We kept outgrowing ourselves to the point that we needed to create the infrastructure to then go from a hobby to an online store to then a physical shop.
In November 2019, they opened their brick and mortar shop.
Our public opening, that really was like a full circle moment.
It's like Bed-Stuy is getting this gem of a business and folks who are community oriented, a place, that folks can meet and gather and see themselves. There were folks in this space all day. There are just so many aspects of this work that we didn't necessarily imagine at the very beginning. I did not envision that Lena Waithe would say after Queen and Slim, we need wrap gifts for the whole crew.
Thank you for this journey, no matter how it ends.
Here's the beautiful thing about what they're doing too, is they are saying about our magazines, old books, old t-shirts, our tchotchkes, our buttons, that they are worthy of being kept.
Other customers echo that significance.
What I love most is that people are starting to redefine how important it is to have these artifacts, to have this history, to know this history.
Every sale that they make is a whole learning experience.
Black artifacts historically have always served as a function, in our communities and in our societies at large. They tell a story. They say that we were here, we lived here, our lives were important. We were names, we were a culture, we were a family.
Of the thousands of items they've sourced, Kiana and Jana showed us some of their oldest items.
There were a few NAACP signs from a float from a parade. Something else that I can think off the top is a fugitive slave notice from, I want to say, the early to mid 1800s. Black people have been collecting and doing this kind of work for as long as we've lived, but I haven't seen a shop that exists in this kind of way. We were open for about 4 months before closing for COVID. We were adjusting to a new schedule, to new financial obligations, now having different kinds of overhead with a physical space. It's just a time of great uncertainty. We're still very much so in this really strange, odd, traumatic place.
Now we're kind of redirecting it back to online. And so there's been those pieces of it when it comes to the logistics of the business side. But really we've been able to adapt and overcome in some substantial ways.
I really want the legacy of Black market vintage to be that Black people are thought about and considered from the very beginning and are not an afterthought, but that a whole community and a whole business is conceptualized and put into action with Black people at the center. And I really think it's important that other folks do the same. Like, the material is very important. The people and the stories that are embedded and imbued in those objects are just as important. And that's the ethos of our work. Our business says there's a place for you. There's a place for grandma's things, there's a place for grandpa's things, a place for your things, to then recirculate them throughout the community and make them accessible because they are important.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Every business is closing down. I have to do whatever I can do to celebrate and showcase my heritage, my proud ancient Black Jewish culture, and eventually touch different people through my food. My name is BJ Barhani, the owner of Sion Cafe, Ethiopian Mediterranean restaurant in Harlem, New York. The cuisine we serve at Sion Cafe is a homage to my diverse identity and culture that I was brought up in. It's celebrating my Jewish, my Ethiopian, and the New Yorker aspect of me. As an immigrant, it's very important to empower people within the community and really to help them pave the way and make it here in New York. I have great respect for new immigrants that just want to go and contribute to the community where they live. We opened Sion Cafe in 2014. It's an establishment where you can nourish your body and soul. It's a place for healthy eating, a community gathering, and making a connection with different people. It's a place where you can come and listen to great music. This used to be the famous Jimmy's Chicken Shack, where in the high day of the Harlem Renaissance, musicians such as Art Tatum, Hazel Scott, or Billie Holiday used to perform here. Different people were working here, such as Charlie Parker, Red Fox, the comedian, and the leader, Malcolm X. The live music and the art shows from local artists, local musicians. That's how I honor the legacy of the Harlem Renaissance. I was born in 1976, Tigray, Ethiopia. Growing up in Tigray, it's very happy childhood memories. It was a surreal, beautiful country, delicious food that early mornings I recall my mom roasting the delicious coffee in the house. I left Ethiopia when I was 4 years old and then lived in Sudan for a couple of years. We never really said that we are Jews. We had to hide our religion. We didn't want to create any problem or trouble. Arriving eventually to Israel was a dream come true. We integrated to the society, and in some point in my life, I wanted to live in a kibbutz. A kibbutz is a cooperative way of living, sharing in a community. Growing up in Israel was a place where I was exposed to a lot of diversity within the Jewish cuisine. Going to my Georgian or Gruzny friends and eating some delicious food, or going to my Yemenite friend and eating some malawak and jachnun. So I grew up really immersed on all those diversities, cuisines, and that kind of, it molded me to appreciate food from all over the world. In the year of 2000, I came to New York when I was 21. I came to New York by myself, didn't know anybody. I just took a backpack and came here. My parents did come to New York for a couple of times, loved it. The plan was for her, actually, when I decided to open Sion Cafe, to come and help me here and guide me. Unfortunately, my mom passed away about 4 years ago from cancer. She is a great influence to the person who I am today. And her picture is right there in honor of her. And I will do whatever I can to make sure that I continue that rich legacy that my mom engraved in me. I have 2 kids. Alam is my elder daughter. She is 15 years old. And my son, Berhan, is 11 years old. They take part in helping, if necessary, here at the cafe.
Ethiopian food is what I grew up on. Like the spices, the flavors, everything. It's so much, it brings me back to my childhood. And I love introducing it to my friends, and they actually love it as well. So it's really exciting.
The menu is a showcase of the different people, different cuisines, different flavors that I encountered throughout my life. You won't find anywhere in a menu where you have shakshuka together with the Ethiopian veggie combo, or malawak, or jollof rice with doro tips. I never ate jollof rice before when growing up in Israel, but coming here to New York and having employees from Nigeria opened me to that beautiful cuisine. In the neighborhood, it's a lot of fast food. It was very important for me to bring something wholesome that is nourishing the community, is a healthy option. There is a high rate, diabetes, obesity, and I wanted to address those issues by opening a venue where we can provide locally sourced vegetables, organic ingredients. We make fresh injera here every day, about 100 a day. It's made out of teff, the ancient grain that it basically has a lot of minerals and vitamins. 2020 for us at Sion Cafe started very well. January was great. February was good. And then all of a sudden, March come in and the pandemic hit New York.
The unprecedented changes took effect in 2 of the nation's largest and most densely populated metro areas. Much of New York and San Francisco now shut down.
And it was a disaster. We started feeding frontline workers or anybody in need towards the end of March, and then mid-April. For the security of everybody, for the safety of my employees and myself, we really decided to shut down everything. The city providing this opportunity to open a roadside or sidewalk cafe, it's of course, it's very helpful rather than, depending only on takeout or deliveries. from 30, 40 tables, now you have about 10 tables. It's a big difference in terms of revenue intake. But are we gonna give up? No, we're gonna still keep fighting and make sure we are feeding our community.
Waves of peaceful protest marched on, bigger than ever before.
After the killing of George Floyd, for me as a Black mother, it was very troubling to see of a murder of an innocent man. A lot of people wanted to support minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses, and that helped.
Through this pandemic, they've really made an effort and a real obvious commitment to this community, not just by sharing their wonderful gift of food and culture, but by being very open-minded and inviting people like me and my friends and artists to come and share our gifts and our talents.
Harlem is home. Harlem is the Mecca of Black culture. Harlem is part of me. In this pandemic time, hard time, if we can uplift people's spirit